Sports. Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. NFL opening night is tonight. The Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end tonight. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee in practice this week, and the team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners family came to terms with their star defensive end Nick Bosa yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday. September 9th, kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get started with Whitey and Watkins.
They're going to take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
She got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I did it again. So that's right. Hello, is this on?
Nope. Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
Now.
'Tis the season to watch football. Hey,
Follow,
J-Mars in
la, la,
for
la.
Watkins today. Fa la 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 la.
La 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 la.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm into it. Big football guy. Big football hive.
Yeah,
Let's
it
do
always that first day, even though, you know.
Hardcore. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always know the
Those.
date, that first Thursday game. It still kind of sneaks up on me a little bit, even though we've been talking about it all week long, because it's like, we got football tonight.
Right. And it just, do you like that we started on a Thursday?
I don't. But
You're
it's
a
better than,
traditionalist.
I mean, I'll watch, but yeah, I would rather start on Sundays.
Yeah,
but that's
samesies.
neither here nor there.
Yeah, but we got a good matchup tonight.
I
Or
think
do,
we deserve-
or do we?
I think we deserve a better matchup.
Interesting. I disagree.
Really?
Very much
The elite
so.
quarterback that is Jared Goff.
Thank you for making my argument for me. What happens? Like the prosecution rests their case or something?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Well, I know that Mahomes is, the Super Bowl champions have to play or should play on the first game of the year. But the Lions hype train is nice and cute, but they don't belong in this game. The Chiefs, as you probably know, are 40-9 at home with Patrick Mahomes.
Or
40-9.
But there is now the whole thing that Travis Kelce might not play, or did it get confirmed he's not playing?
Last I heard, he was doubtful.
Okay. So if he's doubtful, the Lions can make it, was it 49-10 now?
The last time they played a game without
It's
him,
a good
I think
offense.
Mahomes threw for 379 yards or something. It didn't really matter. The Lions, their defense last year, and I know they've upgraded with some acquisitions, but they were bottom 5 in many categories. And I like the Lions, but it's like, hold on. I just feel like the Lions are kind of being forced down my throat tonight, and we deserve a better team up against the Chiefs.
You think they're being forced down your throat because the NFL wants to run this whole marketing idea that the Lions are relevant. And look what this team did last year. The darlings of the NFL that went 9-8
Mhm.
and didn't make the playoffs.
But tell me why I'm wrong.
Because I think the Lions are, as we've talked about, a legit playoff contending team this year. You have your Super Bowl champion. That's a given. Kansas City, awesome place to play. Awesome atmosphere, an opening night game. But you what's a more intriguing matchup? You want to have somebody in there that has a potential to do something, right? I like the Lions in there. I think it's a good choice.
I agree that they're a potential playoff team. Is that the way you
Right,
phrase
yes,
it?
they are.
I agree 100%. To me, the first game of the year should be two legitimate teams that have already been in the playoffs, two of the best teams from the previous year. And that's been more or less a tradition.
Sure.
And I don't have the list of teams in front of me, and there have been exceptions here and there. But,
Right.
like a Super Bowl rematch or the Chiefs against.
Are the Chiefs and Eagles even playing each other this year? I don't think they are.
Probably not.
So you couldn't even do that. So
They are.
Oh, they are?
Thank you, Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kyle said they are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then my whole argument.
But see, that's like you have helmet night on a night when you don't play a good team. You don't have helmet night when you play the Yankees.
Right. No.
So you have the NFL's like, well, we got this Lions Chiefs thing. If we have it on the first night, everybody's going to watch, and it'll be a bigger thing and get more eyeballs than we would get if we had it later in the season.
And I think that's just really the NFL's thinking right there. It doesn't matter who you put up against the Chiefs. You could have chosen the Texans. You could have chosen the Cardinals. Everybody is tuning in to watch the defending Super Bowl champions tonight. They're tuning in to watch Patrick Mahomes. And it's the first game of the season. I understand what you're saying, but from an NFL scheduling standpoint, look, do I want to give everybody Chiefs and Eagles in week 1 when I already know all the eyeballs will be there regardless? No. I need to save that for another point in the season.
I get that, and I agree with you, and I just feel like we deserve better because we've been waiting a long time for our football.
Well,
but I hope that the Lions, it's hard to imagine, but I hope that they come out tonight, play well, and are in the game in the fourth quarter.
I feel like you have not bought the Lions hype. Have you not bought the Lions hype, or is it just the Chiefs are too good for the Lions?
It's the Chiefs are too good. I think you can buy the Lions hype to a large extent and still say, yeah, but they're not good enough to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs on opening night.
But there's so much storyline for the NFL regardless of the outcome tonight, right? Because if the Lions go in and beat the Chiefs, OMG, are the Lions Super Bowl contenders? Because that totally will happen, and you know I'm right. Or
yes, but that isn't going to happen.
Or the Chiefs go in and just throttle the Lions, right? A very plausible scenario. Again, now it's going to be Chiefs talk. The Chiefs are back. Who's going to beat this team? And then we can just go all in on that. All the focus now will be on the Chiefs as this dominant Super Bowl team that nobody can touch. Or we get a good game. And then you kind of get both storylines, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get the, oh, man, the Lions are for real. They just hung with the Chiefs. And, oh, man, the Chiefs are still that team. But, hey, man, the Lions really exposed some stuff. This is perfect for the NFL.
Yeah, but I it doesn't matter because football's back, and that's great. I do feel like it's great for the NFL, but fans deserve better. But bottom line, that here we are, and maybe you're right. Maybe the Lions and Goff, being the elite quarterback that he is, will surprise us, and then we have another storyline to grab onto and drag through the rest of the season. The NFC, by the way, according to those who are supposed to know, pretty weak and wide open this year.
Wow.
From the Athletics, 6 executives from, what'd you say?
Shots at the 49ers.
Well, no, they and the Eagles are like the uber elite. And then after that, it's like, See, Athletic pulled 6 executives, GM, assistant GM, pro personnel, contract, salary cap, analytics guys, and they ranked every NFC team in terms of competitiveness. And they did this anonymously. So they ranked number 1, Eagles. Number 2, 49ers. Number 3, the Lions.
Wow, over the Cowboys?
Yes, 4 Cowboys, 5 Seahawks, Saints 6, then it goes Giants, Vikings, Commanders, Panthers. So it's kind of a mishmash in there in the middle.
Can I say something? This
Please.
is 100% correct. The NFC sucks outside of like the top 3 or 4 teams. When you got the Lions, who we just were talking about as a possible playoff team, ranked number 3. And by the way, I mean, I think the Cowboys are a better team than the Lions, but the Lions, if you just look on paper, probably at least top 6, right? Just on paper, that's a pretty weak conference.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's reflected every time over the offseason we went through the quarterback rankings and you find all the guys are in the top guys in the AFC. Yeah. But to me, the Eagles, 49ers clearly on top. And I'm not trying to be biased. I'm trying to be mindful of any potential biases. I rank the 49ers ahead of the Eagles.
I do too. I do as well. You know, I think losing Hargrave and him going to the 49ers, that's a dramatic shift for both defenses. Because remember, that was a pretty stout Eagles defense last year. And you're talking about one of the best players on it. Now going to, I guess, a quote-unquote Super Bowl rival, however you want to look at this matchup. But yeah, no, I think that's a big deal. And right now the 49ers are pretty much healthy. And I think a healthy Niners team versus a healthy Eagles team, I think it's the Niners, not by a ton, but I do think the Niners are a better team.
But I do think it's Niners, Eagles, and then I think we got a little, whoa, look out below, a little bit of room there.
Right.
And I'm with you. I would put Dallas next. And then, I mean, maybe the Lions.
I feel like it's one tier is the Niners, Eagles. If I had to go tier 2, it's just the Cowboys. And then I could probably go tier 3. I could probably just make an argument. Everybody else.
Yeah, and that's TEAR because it's like,
yes,
oh, it's so sad.
God, what has happened to the NFC? If you had to pick a team, though, out of that 3rd tier, and let's leave the Lions out of it, who do you think is most likely to be like, oh, man, that's a surprise good team? Like, I could see that there was something bubbling there a little bit, and they just finished with a much better record than you would have anticipated.
I think, by way of answering, Dave made a little bit of a mistake today, in my opinion, believe it or not, when he was talking about teams that have no chance. He said, let's, do it this way, teams that have no chance. And he named a handful of teams from both of the conferences, the South, and you don't do that, as far as playoff teams because those divisions are so bad.
Right.
Somebody can
Just
jump up and
completely
surprise
wide
you.
open.
Yeah. So it's risky to ever say a team in the NFC or AFC South, like they have no chance. They always have a chance because the divisions,
Right.
I know the AFC South is a little more stout now, but they're so bad. So I would say the Panthers have a chance, and I think the Saints have a chance to be maybe not good teams this year, but better than most people.
And I'm with you on the Saints. I'm one of those weirdos that think Derek Carr is a decent quarterback.
How many of you are left?
to know how crazy you sound.
How many of you are left now? Do you know?
There's a few of us still.
Do you have a
I'm not
Facebook group or anything?
Yeah,
or?
and I'm not the admin on the Facebook group, but I do, comment on everything. I'm that guy. I think Derek Carr still is a decent quarterback, and I think the Saints, he's just going to be in just a much better position being in the New Orleans organization versus the sideshow that is the Raiders organization, which we'll get into here, I'm sure, in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the big thing is with him is like Michael Thomas is angry, but I'm angry to prove everybody wrong angry. It's like if Michael Thomas is decent, I like Jamal Williams in the backfield there. Not the biggest Dennis Allen fan, but it's worst coaches in the NFL. I think they're going to be okay. Like, I think this is a team that could actually win 10 games. If all things go right, they could be a 10-7 team.
Yeah.
Win the division.
Mhm.
And I think,
that extra game changes everything.
it does. It really does.
Just a couple of years ago, 10 wins, 10-6. Whoa, but 10-7 is like, 10-7.
That's,
I know it's only one game, but it makes a big difference.
Well, yeah, when you only play 17 of them, it makes a huge
Yes,
difference. Think
yes.
about when they go to 18 games, because that's going to be on the horizon the next 5 years. What's 10-8 going to look like?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's an odd number. I don't like 17 games.
I hate it. I think it's dumb, especially because it's like, wow, I have to play one more game on the road or one more game at home. It's like, man, any given season that lasts where you're playing 7 roads for 6 home, like that could matter when you're talking about playoffs and things being close.
But you might luck out and get an even home and away schedule because you'll be going to London or Germany.
True.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Jay,
Those international games are just outstanding. Super glad we have them.
this may be way out there, okay? I may be just really out on a limb here. Sometimes I'm not sure the NFL has the best interest of the players in their health top of mind. Yeah, I know. Sometimes
Wow.
I'm not sure the NFL really cares about the players' safety and health as much as they say they do.
I
This
never
seems like a cash grab.
I never took you as a woke
I know,
sports fan,
I know.
Whitey Gleason.
Shock jock. I know that seems crazy.
Crazy. What do you mean they don't care about their players' health?
I feel badly that I even said it.
I know.
okay?
You should really consider hanging up the headphones. I think we've gotten to the point where it's just like, oh, I got to say crazy stuff on the radio to get
Yeah, I
attention
know.
on social
I know.
media.
By the way, I think I can explain this poll in The Athletic that has the Lions so high. All of these NFL executives, they're NFL executives. So clearly they got a memo from the league saying, remember, the Lions are on the first game of the season against the Chiefs. They really shouldn't be on there. So we're trying to trump them up.
So not
To
only
make people think they're really going to be good.
not
this
only
year.
are you woke sports host, but now you're conspiracy
Here's my
theory
foil
sports
hat.
host.
This is the closest I have to a foil hat. So that'll have to do.
It took you as a professional at one point. I grew up, admiring you, and now I just sniff. Yeah.
You grew up admiring me?
Yes.
Man,
I know.
that's on you. That's not on
Slim
me.
Pickens in Sacramento radio.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we have a terrific game tonight.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I think it will be a good game, and I think you will come in tomorrow and owe everybody an apology for thrashing the Lions.
Which way do you stand on this, Christopher Laud? Should be a great game. Lions belong there, or they got no business.
It's going to be the Chiefs just being promoted as King of Kings of the
Mhm.
NFL.
The NFL
It'll
gets what they
certainly
want.
be the Lion Kings tonight.
Oh, that's really good because it's the Lions and the Chiefs might be the
But the
Kings.
Lions will try and sleep tonight. I don't know.
We're just getting warmed up here, so we got to work our way through
Can
some
the
of those
Lions
Kings.
be Scar to the Chiefs Mufasa? You'll just have to find out tonight.
I think that's good for now. I think we're good on that for now. Coming up next, 49ers celebrated a huge win before the season even started, and we're back all over that next year. In for Watkins today, it's Jamar, Sactown Sports.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah, I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turn them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, Why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million be? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Football is back. Nick Bosa is back. Kyle Shanahan yesterday talking to the media.
A very giddy Kyle Shanahan?
Yes, that's it. If I didn't know better, I'd say I think he's happy.
Yeah, no, he had a smile. It was weird.
Yes.
He wasn't being, Mr. Why are you asking me these questions of Kyle Shanahan? It was like, ask me anything. I'm super excited to talk about Nick being here.
Yes, and I thought it was remarkable, all the reports of the locker room, everybody just yelling and screaming with joy. I don't remember ever hearing that before. Of course, the circumstances with the timing were a little unusual, where a guy signs with his team, ends his holdout, whatever sport, and then everyone in the locker room is like just celebrating wildly.
Right, popping bottles almost. And that's probably what a few players did because, we talked about Hufanga going out there and basically being like, yeah, we'd really like Nick here. You hear the comments from Trent Williams like, really like Nick here. And then you see him get off the plane. The bear has arrived.
Yes.
And of course, Nick, always very elegant. Sorry for the scare. Let's go win some games.
Yeah, and that's a great point about how happy the players were and how relieved they were, because we've been talking about it this week, and there's some of these jackals on the text line. So you guys, you're being over dramatic. One text literally it said, nah, 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 nah. And I don't even know how to spell that. Yeah. That's how people were reacting.
So we don't even know if it's misspelled or not.
Yeah. Ambulance. But appreciate you listening. But yeah, it's clear that they were concerned. It's one thing for us to go on the radio and say, this could be a problem, and Kittle's hurt and a kicker and no Bosa. But the players admitted as much yesterday, like, woo, we didn't want to go play Pittsburgh without Bosa.
No, absolutely not. And poor Mike Tomlin, he was talking about how they're preparing to play with Bosa. So good for him. But you had to know in the back of Tomlin's mind, he's like, man, if Bosa doesn't show up, we got a really good chance to win the first game. So that was exciting. It's interesting because I think an hour before that dropped, Diana Rossini was on a prominent national radio show saying that, like, from everything she's heard, and Diana Rossini from The Athletic is as plugged in as anybody, like, these two camps are so far apart right now. And then an hour later it happens. Are you of the opinion, as I am, that the Niners just said, fine, screw it, we lose. You win. Here's your money. That's the way it felt to me.
Yeah, you could be right. And to your point there, no one really knows if Diana Rossini's guessing. We don't know. But to me, it looks this way. Like the 49ers said, what do you want? Okay, we're going to have to give it to him. Nick, it's going to take us a while to figure this out, how we're going to do that. And of course, they restructured a couple guys yesterday. So that would be my guess. And I could be totally wrong, but I don't think it was a standoff like, let's see who blinks first. Okay, you win. I think it was more, okay, you have us over a barrel. You know that. We really need some time to figure out how we're going to do that, but I think they figured out a way. That's my guess.
They figured out the way. So the restructures were with Trent Williams. So I think it was him and George Kittle both got big signing bonuses for this year to restructure that on top of the $15 million signing bonus that Nick Bosa got. And I think I saw the total money The total check that Jed York cut yesterday for signing bonuses, $73 million.
Yeah. And in addition to that, not only do now they had room for Bosa, they actually have room to add another player or two if they felt they needed to this year.
Yeah, if they want to pull off another Christian McCaffrey level trade. And, Jed York had actually talked about that in the offseason. I think John Lynch had alluded to it also. Like, Jed had never really been that guy up until last year to be like, screw it. Will this help us win the Super Bowl? All right, make it happen. But it definitely seems like Jed York kind of has that mentality right now. Like, all right, I guess I got to spend money if this team wants to win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, no, they've set themselves up for a midseason acquisition. And if they don't do that, they can also find cap savings in the future, which we know has been a big point of contention with the Niners.
Right. But I do think the decision yesterday reflects a realization that we're not going to get many more chances, if any more chances, like we have this year, and we have to maximize it.
Yeah, and I think this year and possibly next year, like, that's your window with this squad. That is absolutely 100% your window. And as long as you win one, and I've always thought this in sports because there's always this idea. It's like, yeah, we want to win now, but we want to maintain flexibility, which I completely understand. Like, that is the correct thinking, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
But
depends how you're doing it. Like, the Giants are doing it that way, and it's totally wrong.
Yeah, no,
but you're right.
But if you're doing it with the way of a team that can actually contend, right, like the 49ers, if you just win one, dude, your fan base is happy for, like, it's like a 5-year grace period. Just winning the Super Bowl, like, whatever happens after that, like, you can go through a bit of a rough patch. You'll be fine because you got it's so hard to win a title as a Kings fan, as a 49ers fan. I know very well. So hard to win a title. You just need one. I go back to the Anthony Davis trade with the Lakers, right? Everybody thought that, oh man, the Pelicans really got a haul. And you look at that trade and it was all about what the Pelicans got. The Lakers won the title.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that trade, they automatically win.
But go ahead. Yeah.
They automatically win the trade if you win a title. Like, to me, that's how you determine the trade when that happens. They could have got this great haul, all these picks that they really haven't done a whole lot with. The Lakers won the title. They automatically win the trade. The Anthony Davis trade paid off for the Lakers. They won a championship.
Mm-hmm. The best term I heard for that was years ago reading a baseball prospectus or something. Sometimes baseball teams, so you trade prospects for a guy who can help you now. And the term is flags fly forever.
Yes.
If you win something, they don't take that away from you.
Right.
So it's worth the risk. But of course, that depends on what your ultimate goals are.
Yeah. And
Giants didn't feel that way at the deadline this year.
No, they didn't. They basically took AJ Pollock for free. And I think the Mariners won the trade. Like, the Giants, I don't think had to give anything to Seattle, and Seattle still won the trade.
Yeah. And I think I may have said this yesterday. That's one reason why I think in San Francisco, especially, and also here to a degree, the Giants have fallen out of favor with fans because they see what the 49ers are doing. Like, wow, they want to win. They want to win as much as I do.
And the Warriors on the same level,
yes.
right? You have Joe Lacob's out there like, yeah, we don't care what these new CBA rules are. We're going to find a way to win.
Yes.
We're going to spend the money.
You look at the Giants, and it's like, I think I want them to win more than they want to win.
Right.
That's no bueno.
And then it's probably worse because as a Giants fan, you're kind of spoiled with the 3 World Series titles in 5 years. So when you win like that, it becomes an expectation now of the front office and ownership. It's like, hey, guys, we really enjoyed that. Go get us that again. Like, they do not care about platooning and saving money. Like, they're not here for it.
Right. It's interesting how our view of it all changes. I remember the Kings, the wonderful Weber teams, how great that was in 1999 when they go to the playoffs and they lose, and the next year they're back and they win a series. And anyway, it got to a point a couple of years into that where first round, I remember it's the Kings playing the Jazz in the first round. And it was like,
yawn.
Yes.
Stockton's old. Malone's old.
Well, it was literally Stockton. Remember his last game. And I remember there was kind of a preliminary feel to that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, a couple of years before it had been, whoa, the playoffs.
And now it's just like, I guess we're just here to take old Yeller out back so that we could move on to play Phoenix.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see, assuming the Kings continue to enjoy success, how long it takes before we start to look at the playoffs that way again. Maybe never.
Dare I say, after, let's say they make the playoffs again this season, all things go well, right? By next season, we're there. We are totally there. The playoffs aren't good enough. It's title or bust.
Well, it depends if they win a series this year.
I don't even think it depends then.
Because if you don't win a series, then it's awfully hard to just take the first round for granted.
Yeah, but fans get spoiled very quickly in this day and age, in the social media age, in the what have you done for me lately? I want everything now age.
Yes.
I think that's sped up, even if they lose in the first round again.
Yeah, and I think as fans, we assume, and this applies to the 49ers too, we assume everything is going to go in linear fashion. They were good this year, they'd be better the next year, and then better the year after that.
Right.
And if they're not, it's like, well, what's wrong with them? And it doesn't work that way. But the 49ers actually have been trending in that direction with trips to one to the Super Bowl and then 2 others to the conference championship game. So that's 3 in 4 years.
Right. No, that's actually pretty good. And the only reason it didn't happen, I think, in that other years, just because the entire team was decimated with injuries.
So weird for everybody.
Really bad, right? But to your point, I think it is normally more of that roller coaster ride. And I think the Denver Nuggets are a great example of that, right? That to me is the example of this is how you really build a championship team, especially like in Sacramento as a quote unquote small market. That's kind of the model to follow. It's like, hey, it's never a straight shot to the top, but if you ride the wave a little bit and you got the talent, you can get there.
So what does that mean for the Kings? Don't answer that yet. I didn't intend to talk about that today, but here we are. So we have that coming up. Also, we have more insight into what's up between Chandler Jones and the Raiders, and it's not pretty. That is next year. In for Watkins today, it's Jamar, so it's Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it, this place is absolutely nuts.
Listen to every game on the home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday looking bright and sunny. We'll have calm winds out of the southwest, and it feels like summer. Expect daytime highs to peak in the low 90s with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hold up. You're using Swiffer Power Mop? What would Mom say?
Oh, she'd be like, a mopping bucket is the only way to deep clean your floors. And I'd be like, Mom, this is the new Swiffer Power Mop. The all-in-one that gets you a mop and bucket clean in half the time.
She'd never believe you.
I'd say, look, the solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket. And the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get into grout lines. That's why you're the smart one.
Really?
What? Mom said it.
The new Swiffer Power Mop. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NFL opens up tonight. The Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end, Travis Kelce, who hyperextended his knee in practice this week. And the team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with their star defensive end, Nick Bosa, yesterday. He signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday. September 9th, kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Coming to you via the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. All our guests come to you via that hotline. Kind of like a guest today, Jay Marzine for Chris Watkins.
Yes, actually, the Folsom Lake Honda hotline is responsible for me being here. So there you go.
Okay.
Our second favorite guest on the show.
Who's the first?
Jerry Reynolds.
No, I can't even hold a candle to Jerry.
Even you're not mad at that.
No, absolutely not. I'd actually be mad if you ranked me above Jerry.
Thanks for being with us today. I got to tell you, if I may share, from a little peek behind the curtain, Day got off to just a dreadful start because
brain drain.
No, the Immaculate Grid was down today.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm like, let's, watching the clock. 2 more minutes till a new grid's 1 more minute. And then
no grid.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Get on it, Immaculate Grid. There's people that need you.
It.
Okay.
Thank goodness they got it on track.
No problems with Movie Grid.
I've yet to play Movie Grid.
I would like to. My brother would dominate Movie Grid.
Is your brother a big movie guy?
He is. He and Verlaut, I think, would that'd be quite a competition. But anyway, that got straightened out. So I guess
good basketball one today.
Yeah, I glanced at it. I was focusing more on the baseball one, but
Nugget Warrior. Who do you got?
Nugget Warrior. Off the top of my head, I got Iguodala, but that wouldn't be a very good one.
Oh, I'll go Tim Hardaway.
What about DeMarcus Cousins?
That's right there. Ooh, who gets the lower score, DeMarcus or Hardaway? I don't think a lot of people remember Tim Hardaway, Denver Nugget.
You may be, those are both really much lower than mine. I think I would give you the edge.
Okay.
Even as when you said it, I'm like, what?
Let's put it in.
I don't think he's right.
Tim Hardaway as the Nugget Warrior got 1%.
Well played.
Thank you.
Well played.
I know.
This is really awkwardly played here. What's going on between the Raiders and Chandler Jones? And I know it was a topic a couple days ago because Chandler Jones posted some things about how the Raiders, he wanted to be traded and they wouldn't let him work out at the facility.
Yeah, and he wanted to be traded. I think it was specifically if that's his head coach and that's his GM, he said.
Yes. Josh McDaniels said yesterday the team and Chandler Jones are dealing with, quote, a personal situation and a private matter, end quote. In his Instagram account, Jones showed the badge of a member of Las Vegas's crisis response team that he said the Raiders sent to his home. And this post has since been deleted. But Chandler Jones says that Dr. Heather Thanpone, clinical program manager of the CRT, told him he needed to come with them because he was, quote, in danger, end quote. So Jones shared screenshots, he said, or text from August with McDaniels that suggest the issues between Jones and the team have been going on for some time, but it appears that perhaps the Raiders are concerned more with what's going on with Chandler Jones, the person, than with Chandler Jones, the football player right now. But again, it's very murky.
Yeah, and it's really weird, especially because this, again, when you're putting pieces together as we're trying to do, which is always super responsible. It sounds like there might be some mental health stuff, and I don't like to speculate when it comes to that.
It does sound like there may be, sure.
Yeah, and so who knows if, the Raiders are trying to do the right thing. Who knows, I guess, is the best thing here, but man, is this just not a good situation at all.
But it does appear, I know if you're a Raider fan, and obviously the health and safety and the welfare of the player is more important than anything, but if you're a Raider fan and you're wondering what's going on there, it's a bad sign, but it looks like it may be an isolated incident having to do with one player who's having some issues, and the team is trying to help him address those. So hopefully that's the situation.
And I think the team, even he put this in the original Instagram stories, like reached out to the mother of his child about communicating through her.
Oh, that's right. And he was upset about that.
He was upset about that as well.
He saw that as some sort of attempt to spy on him or something.
Right. So it's a really strange situation. I just hope in the end, whatever is going on with Chandler gets resolved and he's good to go.
Yes, I do too. By the way, I'm not sure why, but I kind of like the Raiders' chances in Denver this Sunday.
Why?
Because I'm not sure Denver is where they need to be right now. And I'm not sure Russell Wilson is Russell Wilson anymore, and I'm not sure Sean Payton is Sean Payton anymore.
Well, Sean Payton doesn't want Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson anymore. And to me, by the way, good on Sean Payton. Good on Sean Payton for saying what has been on every single sports fan's mind for the last several years as we've watched perfect Russell Wilson come out and I do nothing wrong ever. I am a stand-up gentleman and I am the greatest man alive. Like, dude, stop worrying about kissing babies and get out there and go play football.
But I
Thank God.
Sean Payton, when he blasted Hackett, the previous head coach, to me, the whole point of that, if there was one, besides the point that he lost his mind, was to say it wasn't Russ's fault. He blamed ownership, his GM. This is the coach. He blamed, it's our fault, organization that had just hired him. He blamed everybody except Russell Wilson.
But now I think Russell's getting his just due, so to speak, right? Is it possible? Let me throw this.
Is it possible Jimmy G throws for 4 touchdowns and the Raiders win?
We saw Jimmy G in Denver last year. Didn't work out too well for him. But can I say, is it possible that on one hand, yes, the organization, the Nathaniel Hackett hire, complete disaster. Also, Russell Wilson totally seemed like he was more into being Russell Wilson on TikTok than Russell Wilson, a all-pro quarterback last year. I think both exist. And I think now Sean Payton has gotten there and been like, yeah, dude, Nathaniel Hackett was trash. But he's also looking at Russell Wilson like, bro, what are we focused on? What is the task at hand?
That way, first of all.
How do you know that? Have you had a conversation with him with no cameras or microphones
I've never
around?
heard any indication that he says Hackett was trash.
Well, I might
I'm not
have.
buying it.
Well, yeah, and you and the judge didn't buy my whole Nick Bosa signs this week thing last time we had Factor Fantasy, so maybe you should start listening to me. I have sources.
I can understand that if you said that Bosa was going to sign and you lost the point, you'd be mad, but I don't even remember that.
Oh, I do. It's a sticking point for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably, as someone who's worked court with this judge before, you're probably better just to let that go.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're playing today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, Verlad made the correct call.
There
Like,
you go.
I was in the wrong.
There you go.
And holding me accountable for being a Dodgers fan in Sacramento was the right thing to do. He is a judge of the people.
Speaking of, we're just talking about how the Raiders are going to be Denver. I think on Factor Fantasy today, we do have a chance to call an upset this week. So
Really?
if you want that one, you can have that one. 'cause I have
Okay.
some other ones.
I'm into it.
I'm not sure. It's so tough the opening week. Obviously,
It
I'm not
is.
sure. No one's sure, but it's so tough the opening week of the NFL season to know who's who and what's what.
If the Raiders go in there and let's say they don't even got to roll the Broncos, right? Let's say they escape, win by a field goal, right? Boy, is that going to be a fun news cycle for the next 7 days in the Denver media.
Mhm.
Is Sean Payton a hack? Russell Wilson can't play.
CK916.
Are the Raiders better than we thought?
On the chat, CK916. Whitey, I'm a diehard Broncos fan and I'm worried too.
Oh, but that's just fan anxiety. Every fan has anxiety going into opening weekend. Like,
Too many question marks.
there are a lot of question marks, but I would tell CK916, I think the Raiders might have a few more. If we had to rank question marks in the AFC West, I think the Raiders are at the very, very top of the question mark ranking,
You're
followed
saying
by
they
the
should
Broncos.
replace the pirate on the helmet and just put a question
Yes.
mark with an eye patch?
No,
I don't know how you do that.
Well, you
but-
put a question mark in the faces, Mark Davis.
Oh, okay. All right. You'll see. You'll see soon enough. People responding also to our conversation about the Kings, which kind of emerged organically out of our conversation about the 49ers and how fans, they have expectations. And after a while, your expectations change. And we're wondering, at what point do the expectations of Kings fans change? And we're a long ways from that. Although you say as soon as next year, you wouldn't be surprised if Kings fans are like, playoffs, mayoffs.
Yeah.
We expect the playoffs. We need more.
Yes, no. I mean, I feel like there was already a segment. I'm not saying the entire fan base, but there was definitely that segment of the fan base in free agency this year that was like, man, you need to go out and sign X, Y, and Z. This team needs to be competing for a title next year. We took the Warriors to the brink. It's like, you did, but you still lost in the first round. There's still some growing pains. It usually doesn't go from first round exit to championship. Again, even if you go into the second round next year, or I think even a first round exit, everyone's gonna be like, what is Monty doing? That's 2 years in a row with a team that should be competing for a title. You got to go out and sign X, Y, and Z, make all of these trades. That's going to be a thing. That is the world we live in now. It is a, what have you done for me lately? I have no patience. I want it now.
Yeah.
It's like sports fans have all turned into Veruca Salt.
Nice reference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Russell on the chat says, last year was my favorite year to be a Kings fan. Pike 916. Yeah, same. And he says, Jay Will first year, then 02. I think the way it went was the Kings, they made the playoffs in that weird lockout year. They lose to Utah. The next year, they lose in the first round to the Lakers.
Remember, they were down 2-0, tied it up 2-2 at home, and then
that
they got blown out in game 5.
Yes, when they tied the series, that game at Arco. That's the loudest I've ever heard the place. Then the next year, they win in the first round and beat the Suns and then lose to the Lakers again. And then the next
Lakers
year
swept them.
Yeah.
They had the Western Conference
That was
Finals.
the year that it looked like Webb was going to leave, and it was like, oh, no. This is the end of it all. And it wasn't.
Not only looked like it, who was it? Rick Bucher had went on ESPN. I'll never forget watching that. Like, it's a done deal. He's a Knick.
Really?
I remember it what? Weber's to the Knicks. And then, he resigns. All because you mowed Joe and Gavin's lawn, sir.
I used to work with Rick Bucher, and about 10 years ago, I was talking to him, and he goes, hey, you've been up in Sacramento a lot, right? Yeah. He goes, why do the people up there not like me?
Well, Rick, it's one of those sit down, buddy, because that's a novel.
He had said some disparaging things about, remember when a tarp fell from the roof?
Yes.
And Keith Smart was the coach?
I was there.
Okay. He was making fun of that. And, it's one of those things, even though the arena was falling apart, it's kind of like Ace fans with the Coliseum. Was like, well, we can make fun of it, but you can't.
No, the big reason, though, people could stand Rick Bucher was because during the whole Sacramento to Seattle ordeal, he was completely like, Sacramento's dead. They have no chance. This source says Seattle. X source says Seattle. And then even afterwards, when it came down, I think it was the relocation committee voted against it. He was still like writing, like, there's not going back. There's no freaking way. It's like, no, Rick, it's done. Like, you can drop the gig now. And no, he rode that whole Kings to Seattle thing he probably still thinks they're going to end up there.
Speaking of basketball, where the Sixers say they tried to trade James Harden. Would you like to hear that, or are you just burn out on James Harden?
I'm so excited to talk about this.
All right. We will do that next year. J Mars is in for Chris Watkins today. It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift and be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The Fortinet Championship, which returns to Silverado Resort in Napa, is regarded as the most fan-friendly stop on the PGA Tour. And who can argue with players like back-to-back champion Max Homa and 15-time PGA Tour winner Justin Thomas? The field offers someone for everyone. But the Fortinet Championship is much more than golf. It's a happening. The event brings together world-renowned local chefs and wineries. Parking will be on the grounds this year with a new entrance through a fan village. Free concerts with Brothers Osborne and Stone Temple Pilots are also included in the price of admission. Tournament week is September 11th through the 17th at the stunning Silverado Resort and Spa in the spectacular Napa Valley. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit FortinetChampionship.com. And proceeds from ticket sales support local charities. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Now, what's the deal with Watkins? Hanging out in the afternoons again, huh?
Yeah.
Tell you what.
Call him old PM Watt.
After all I've done for him, which is not a lot, but still.
And to make it worse, I think he gave poor Simone the Watt. Like, that's what we call sore throats now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she caught the Watt.
Oh, from Bronchi Watkins.
I don't think you're allowed to say that.
It's just a sore throat. It's just a. What are you thinking? See, here, right there.
Yeah. Well, at least he's feeling better. I hope you're feeling better soon as well, Simone. In her 49er jacket.
Yes, it's
not
a
feeling tip-top, but
beautiful-
still supporting her ball club.
Beautiful jacket.
That's the satin. Is that the starter jacket?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. Very
Ooh, look at her.
nice.
Is
Good
that like
time.
a? Did you get that on eBay, or is that like a passed down through generations of Niner fan?
It was a gift.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Good gift. Whoever gave you that gift, keep them
A little
around.
muffled there because she's got the mask on.
Yeah, that's what
Full
happens.
face mask and the shield and the helmet and everything. Full uniform today.
Yes, that's a really good look for her. I'm into it. Nobody ready for football quite like Simone.
That reminds me one time I was probably like 9 and I'm watching Monday Night Football, okay? And the Chiefs were playing and my dad's watching. My mom had already gone to bed and my dad's watching and I had one of those stupid like replica uniforms that, it doesn't provide you any protection.
Nah.
And I put the helmet on.
But you think it does.
Yeah. And the pants on the shoulder pads and the jersey. And I run out and watch the game. And my dad starts laughing. And I go, what? He goes, well, when baseball's on, you run and put your baseball uniform on. I was like, oh, thanks, Dad.
Wow.
You just got Continental, son.
He
Dad
thought it was
just-
the funniest thing.
Dad just dashing your 9-year-old dreams. You never
Yeah.
recovered, did you?
No, working on it. I mean, he's right and everything. But
Did you watch
still.
basketball? Did you put your jersey and your little shorts on with the cons? And
Only
the,
in my
the
room by
eyes?
myself.
Where nobody could see me. That could just be me.
I had a sweet, like everybody did. I had a sweet full court Nerf set up in my room.
What?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
it's really small, but in my mind, it's like full size
Mhm.
gymnasium.
You
Very
dominated.
tiny. Very tiny.
But you dominated.
I did because nobody else was ever in there. So really good shooting percentage.
I don't like context ruin the story, okay?
We have more context on the James Harden trade talk. I know that it's not something that's top of mind right now, but we do have some new information on it. We know that James Harden said in China, Daryl Morey's a liar because apparently he felt that Daryl Morey told him we're going to trade you and it didn't happen. Ramona Shelburne yesterday reporting that after that happened, Daryl Morey, he ramped up his efforts to trade Harden. And those efforts zeroed in on 2 teams. So Daryl Morey, according to this report, actually made an effort, a good faith effort to trade James Harden to the Clippers and or the Knicks. And boils down to he's just asking way too much. Another team said, no, what do you want for him? What do we have to give you? Well, we're not doing that. And that's that.
I wonder what too much is, though. Like, what is the actual, when we think about when Morey is calling New York or LA?
Great question.
What is considered too much at this point for James Harden?
That is a great question. And if you find that anywhere, please let me know because I was checking everywhere.
I
I
know.
found stories that said, we now know what the Sixers want for Harden. And I would look it up and it's not in there.
Right.
It's like everyone just says it's a lot.
No, and
They want a lot.
I've seen they basically, the way it's been, I've understood it, is they want back whatever the return is, player or players. it keeps them in a championship window.
Yes.
You're just not getting that for James Harden.
No.
Like, that's just not a thing right now.
Don't you think that trades for NBA GMs were ruined by what Danny Ainge, the way he fleeced the Cavs and the Timberwolves for Gobert and for Donovan Mitchell?
Well,
getting it so like 4 first-round picks, whatever it was,
so
for
there
each of those guys.
So there was the fleece of the Nets, and then there was the fleece of Cleveland for Kyrie. And then, the fleece of the Timberwolves, obviously, that brought them in KG.
Cleveland might say they were happy with the deal overall because Mitchell played well. But still, my point is now, because of Danny Ainge, the going price.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the Danny Ainge to Cleveland trade for Kyrie. Sorry. I had the wrong trade in mind.
That's all right.
But
no problem.
And it's hard to call that one a fleece because, Mitchell played really well and the Cavaliers have a good basketball team. But I think what really ruined the market was the 56 first-round picks that were given and plus good players for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Connolly making that trade. Yeah, that's the one that just like, what the hell, man? But
you
I
get
also
a draft pick with which you get a better player than him.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then, but you also have to factor in the idea is like, dude, all this James Harden stuff is just out here for us to see between the stuff with China. And then I don't know if you read the report the other day that he was actually selected as a replacement on the Eastern Conference All-Star team, but was so pouty that he wasn't selected the first time.
Oh, really?
Never returned Adam Silver's call, and that's how Pascal Siakam got on the team this year. So we have that out there. We have the antics that Doc Rivers and players were not too happy with James going and traveling separately to Miami to go party during the playoffs. They were mad about that. It's like James Harden just – and all of this stuff coming out has just driven his value down to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's the crazier part about?
I think that's accurate.
It is accurate. Like, let's just look at it from a Kings perspective, right? You're the GM. Monty McNair is out sick, right? And so you got to replace him for a few days, Whitey. And it's your job to negotiate a trade for James Harden. Legitimately, what would you feel comfortable giving up for him at this point?
Well, I'll play along. The actual answer is nothing. I wouldn't want him.
Yes, but I think that's a lot of teams' answers. And I
not
think,
interested.
And I think the Clippers and Knicks are either at we don't want him or give him to us for free so that we feel, like basically.
Hey, you got a problem with, we'll take him off your hands. We'll do you a favor.
Here's
and
a couple second round picks.
You don't understand. This is a great player. You have to give us the value of a great player. And it's like, well, he's not. So you're not going to get that.
Right.
So you're stuck with him.
Yeah. And so they're like, no, we're not going to give you anything of value for a guy that may tank our season, or we may have to trade him midway when he's unhappy about something.
He clearly likes basketball and the lifestyle. He doesn't really care about winning as much, which is his right as a person. But if I'm paying him, I don't want to pay him all that money unless you need to win as much as we need to win.
And I think that's
actually a fact.
And I think that's why, like, the Knicks or the Clippers are the preferred destinations, because it's New York, LA. Oh, the business opportunities that come with, LA's playing at home. Yeah, in New York, you got the nightlife, you got business opportunities there. He's not worried about winning a title. I think that's very, very clear.
And that's his right. Good for him.
Yes, but if I'm a team and I'm worried about winning a title,
then we don't want you.
That changes things a bit, doesn't it?
Yes.
Also, the Knicks saying no, is this a sign that the Knicks are finally healing as a franchise?
Yeah, it's partially that they're smart enough to realize, And again, I think I feel like down to it's just like, well, we have a good team. We're not going to break apart our team that's pretty good and on the rise for a guy that doesn't really want to win. It's just where you're right. The old Knicks are like, yes, what's it going to take?
5 years ago, the Knicks are taking James Harden. Like this version, by the way, not 5 years ago version. They're taking 23 James Harden 5 years ago, and they're probably giving up a decent amount to give him. I think the Knicks might be healing.
I would suggest that 10 years ago, maybe the Kings would have been trying to get something done.
No, 100%. I remember even beyond that, the rumors that the Kings, after he had the knee surgery and was never the same player, were like big on like Gilbert Arenas. It was just like the idea. It was star chasing, right? It was name chasing. No, we're not chasing talent. We're chasing a name.
Didn't it get to the point where they wanted Josh Smith?
Yeah,
like
Josh
Malone,
Smith.
Coach Malone's like, no, we don't want Josh Smith.
I remember there was a point when Powell was on the trade block, and this is at the end of his career in Chicago, obviously, and he was not the same player anymore. That like, ooh, the Kings are rumored to be after Chicago's Pau Gasol. I'm like, Why? You know, it's not the guy who won 2 titles in LA, right? Like, not the same player. Same name, same body, not the same player.
I think the only play for the Sixers is hope that he comes around and figures it's in his best interest to play well for them. Other than that, I don't know what you do.
Like, do you really foresee James Harden, like the light bulb just clicking like, oh, you know what? If I go to the Sixers and play well, I can get another contract and make more money.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody knows this but him.
But all the choices for Daryl Morey at this point to me are bad ones. It's a dilemma. There's no good way out of this.
I feel like at this point, it's just addition by subtraction. Just get him out of there already. And, you know, I feel like he's going to go into Sixers training camp if he's on the roster. It's just going to be a mess. We've already seen what he does when he's unhappy.
Mm-hmm. Coming up next, the 49ers are happy with the Bosa deal done. Who's next for the Niners and who might be in position to top Bosa's numbers? That's next here. Whitey and Watkins. J-Mar's in today. Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29-degree draft beers, plus a $50 bonus card for the commish, and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at HagenOaks.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NFL opens up tonight. The Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end tonight. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee in practice this week. The team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with their star defensive end, Nick Bosa, yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey Watkins.
Got Whitey and J-Mars today. J-Mars, Nick Bosa has signed.
No way.
I want to make sure that's correct.
Is that fact or fantasy?
The terms has he signed. My question is, will he be playing, in your estimation, this Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I did some investigating, sir. I don't know if you saw this, but the 49ers posted a video of Nick Bosa getting off the plane last night. The Bear is back. Sorry for the scare. Let's go win some games. Now, Kyle Shanahan, his head coach, said the only way Nick was not playing is basically if he showed up with a beer belly. I looked over Nick on that video, and I can confirm there's no beer belly.
No beer belly. So it looks like 97 going to be on the field.
Yeah, and that's good news for the 49ers heading into what I think is an extremely tough matchup in Pittsburgh this Sunday.
Doesn't seem as tough as it did yesterday, but your peers that you're right. Again, first game of the season, who knows? But Pittsburgh finished very strong last year. Had a great preseason for what that's worth. So it also looks like the 49ers kicking situation is reasonably under control. And Kittle practiced yesterday as well.
Yes.
So a number of question marks yesterday. Check. Bosa's back. Check. Kittle's practicing. Check. Kickers. Fingers crossed, healthy.
Right.
I think we're good.
Yeah, no, when they released the depth chart, Jake Moody was still the guy. So I took from that, even though it was obviously unofficial. And, I think they'll let us know if Moody is playing probably tomorrow morning. Wow, we might be looking at a fully healthy 49ers team, fully capable of going in now and winning a game in Pittsburgh. I think not only having Bosa on the field, obviously, just footballically speaking, is a great thing, but that's got to be a great boost for morale for your team as you get ready to head to Pittsburgh, right? Like, you got to feel really good now about going in there.
It says a lot about that culture, the fact that he signs or agrees to sign, and everybody celebrates because they know that's what we're all about.
Yes.
We're about winning. And, there's this, there's that with contracts, and don't always agree with Kyle on this or that or whatever, but bottom line, we're all about winning, and it's clear they still all are and feel like we can't really achieve what we want to achieve without Bosa.
Yeah, no, and you're not going to. I mean, if you have to play, we saw this when he got hurt, and I believe it was 21. No, it was 20. It just completely, that defense was not the same just with his absence alone. I mean, that team got decimated with injuries, or it might have been 2020. I don't remember the year. Either way, when he had to miss basically the entire year.
It was like game 2 against the Jets with the turf, and he got hurt, and I think
Garoppolo got hurt that game, and you just saw it. Like, that defense was never the same without him. And this is a team that has, again, really good pieces on that defensive line, but it showed in the preseason they really struggled to get pressure on the quarterback when Nick Bosa was not on that defensive line. And I think Cleveland Farrell will be a decent backup for them. I think Drake Jackson will have a decent season for them, but a decent backup and a decent season from a second-year guy was nowhere near enough to replace what you would have lost with Bosa.
It's also rare when you have a situation like this where a player asks for more money at a position than anyone's ever gotten, and it's hard to find anybody who will say, well, he's not worth that much.
Right.
There are a few people here or there, but, it's not really even a debate.
No, and that's the crazy part about that, and I'm glad you brought that up. And so it does raise the question, and I presented to you this earlier, I'm presented again. Why did it take this long if this is such common sense? Again, we know you're trying to the cap, all that good stuff, but I would imagine as they're going through these negotiations, Whitey, they're also looking at, okay, well, if we do sign him to this number, how can we restructure these deals to make that? Like, I don't think they just landed on that yesterday, signed him like, okay, well, now we got to go in and do this. Like, you knew what it was ahead of time. Why the wait? Why so long?
My guess would be that they miscalculated to the extent that they thought, we're good, we have a lot of time. Maybe we'll get him to take a little less. Probably not, but maybe we will. We're in no rush here, so why not see if we get lucky on that? Then it got to the point where it was obvious that, okay, that's not going to happen. Well, let's get in here and get this done. Then they realized, oh, well, it's going to be tougher than we thought.
Yeah.
And so it almost cost him Bosa missing a week, but they got it done.
Safe to say then it just might have been a little bit of, and we've used this word before to describe the coaching staff and the front office, a little bit of that 49ers arrogance.
Maybe so.
Yeah, we'll get it done.
Maybe so.
It's not that hard. And then it's like, oh, this is pretty difficult. He's not budging.
Yeah. 5 years, $170 million extension. So he's as you know, the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Who is next among defensive players? $34 million annual payout surpasses Aaron Donald's $31.7 million. And there's got a situation where next year, some people think this guy could ask for numbers that could be in the Bosa neighborhood, could even possibly top Bosa's numbers. I'm not saying they should, but we'll see how it goes.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Give me Micah Parsons.
That's correct. Micah Parsons. He'll be eligible for an extension for the first time after this season. He finished as runner-up to Bosa for DPOY last year. I don't know what that stands for. So he, you figure he's
DPOY is Defensive Player of the Year.
I know.
Are you sure?
So you figure, all right, he's going to be in position, depending on how their season goes, where he's going to ask for some pretty big numbers as well.
Micah Parsons was asked about how he felt about the Bosa contract. Did you see this?
No.
He said, super happy for Nick Bosa, man. I'm like, I wonder why. He really showed why he was the best player in the league last year. It gives you something to chase, man. And I'm not in terms of a contract, but in terms of how great he was. Yeah. I think in terms of a contract as well. I do not believe Micah Parsons says that it's just about chasing greatness. No, now you have a figure that you can go out and chase. And has it ever not been drama when Jerry Jones is negotiating an extension with one of his star players?
But it all hinges on how they play, I think, how well they do this year. If they have a great year, I don't think they will. But if they have a great year, then Jerry's got a problem.
Right. No, he has a big problem because he's going to have to go out there and spend, and he's going to have to reset the market, which I don't think Jerry is a fan of doing.
As for the 49ers, it looks like the next guy up for them, and obviously it takes them a while, and there have been some missteps here or there, but for the most part, they take care of their stars, their superstars. Next up would be Brandon Ayuk next year.
Right. And so this is, again, the player that we've heard the most about, I think, in training camp. What did Debo say? You couldn't cover him in a phone booth. And it's going to be interesting.
I bet I could, by the way.
Yeah, I think I could too. I'm not the best defensive player in football.
Probably just throw it over my head.
I don't know, but it's really hard to operate in a phone booth.
Yes.
Have you tried?
Do they even have it? Do those exist anymore?
Now they're like almost like, oh, it's super cool. Look at this replica thing. They're not like active, But like random places will have a phone booth because it's like this super cool relic from the past, and you can go take a picture with it and put it on your Instagram, sir.
I made a reference 2 days ago to a phone book, and I thought, I think we still have phone books.
I'll tell you this: I get a phone book every year.
Yeah, okay,
and I
thought
recycle
so.
it.
Yeah,
like it is really a waste of trees at this point to get the phone book. But where was I going with this?
Well, you were talking about Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Kind of took you a
That's
different way.
That's fine as long as you bring me
That's on
back.
me.
I appreciate it. Because if you sign Brandon Ayuk to big money, if he has a big year, it's still an if. Training camp is one thing, doing it for 18 weeks is a completely different thing. But it's going to be really interesting because you're getting to the point now where you're going to have too much money devoted to too little players. There's going to be some casualties. And I was looking over the numbers.
The bill does come due.
The bill does come due, and I'm looking to like who could be the casualties.
And they know that.
Mm-hmm. You know who I think could end up being a casualty if Ayuk gets the money? You can. Debo was one of them.
I was talking to Emil yesterday. Emil, of course, our 49er insider, Sactownsports.com. He said that a lot of people think that he may end up being a casualty of this.
Well, I mean, you'll get a lot for him, right? If you end up trading him, like you will get a lot of assets. The other guy I was looking at the defensive side of the ball is Eric Armstead might end up being a casualty if that's the case too. And if this team wins the Super Bowl this year, I wouldn't be shocked if both those guys were a casualty to kind of reset a little bit. Again, I think when you win a Super Bowl, you got a 5-year window of a grace period, so to speak, with the fan base. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw that happen.
He's local, so I'm not even going to discuss that with you, okay? You may be right, but we're not.
I am sorry. I am just trying to be a fair and responsible journalist on this
I'll
radio
talk about
station.
Debo, in the theoretical, but the
No,
other guy,
no double A?
I'm not even going to say his name.
I think it'd be a mistake if they did. I do. Especially because you let go of DeForest Buckner to keep him.
Have you ever been around him, Eric Armstead?
Yes. One, large man.
Yes. I was
Two?
doing one, and I always do this with football players, and it's so stupid because some of them kind of laugh, and some of them just look at me like, what? I go, come on, let's go. And I get in a 3-point stance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I go, let's go. I'll show you a few things.
You're that
and
guy.
Do that with him, and it's like you feel like it's like a giant statue, or you're like an ant.
It's
He's
not even
so massive.
I wouldn't say statue. It's
He's like a
almost
CGI human.
But if you like and you look and you talk to Eric and then you go down that 3-point stance, you're like, this guy would never hurt me.
I know.
He's
I
too
know. There's
nice.
that too. There's
like,
that
he's
too.
like
Yes.
the nicest human being ever. To think that guy goes out there to basically put quarterbacks into the ground, it's like unthinkable.
Yeah.
Like Eric Armstead has the vibe of like just the best elementary school teacher of all time. Like, man, I remember Mr. Armstead's class in 3rd grade. That guy was awesome.
Do you remember a defensive end with a lot of teams? I think the Raiders for a while. Sean Jones.
Yes.
I did that with him once at the Super Bowl, and he's like, like he didn't think it was funny.
No, because it's a Whitey, there's a certain guy that does that. It's the, hey man, I got this funny joke for you. Ready? And it's the joke you've heard 10,000 times.
Maybe so. That's how we learn.
Yes.
I learned, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore.
You did it last year.
That was the last time.
Okay.
That was the last time.
Until the next time.
Mm-hmm. So Debo's number one, the highest paid non-quarterback. Then it's Aaron Donald, Tyreek Hill, TJ Watt, rounding out the top 4 there. I think it's a receiver after that, isn't it? Devontae Adams?
I think it's Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
I was looking at Tyreek Hill's deal yesterday. It's funny you mentioned that. He's due, like his base salary when he's like 33 is like $42 million, but there's like an $11 million cap hit. He'll be 33. He's never seeing that money.
Mm-hmm.
He's never seeing that money. I'm sorry.
It's like a balloon payment on your house.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No, the Dolphins are not doing that.
The Chiefs playing tonight, and their outstanding defensive lineman Chris Jones remains unsigned.
It's going to be interesting because obviously Chris Jones, I don't think is going to get Nick Bosa money.
He says he's asking, pardon me, but to that point, he says he's been asking for 28, and he says apparently after the Bosa deal that I'm just asking for 28.
Right, and that's his like it almost
and
actually
it's probably worth it.
I think so. I think it actually Bosa signing for much more than that really helped his case. So it'll be interesting to see if the Chiefs blink. But you know what? Do the Chiefs blink when that outstanding Lions offense runs up on them today? That you don't think is going to happen, but
the what?
The outstanding Lions
I
offense.
Heard you, but the what?
Jared Goff is the quarterback.
He's fine. He's a really good quarterback. He's not as good as I thought he was going to be. A couple of years ago, I thought he was going to be one of the elite quarterbacks. He's not.
The elite quarterback that is Jared Goff.
He's not there, but
I was waiting for that.
He had some excellent numbers last year. He's a very gifted passer.
Yeah, and he has a good offense with him. They have good offensive minds there in Detroit. I think he'll have another really good season. And
if I were a Lions fan, heaven forbid, it'd be the other side of the football that I'd be worried about, especially tonight.
Yeah, no, the Chiefs have a good offense. This just in. But I think you're going to see it.
Can we confirm that?
Yeah.
Christopher Lott, is that true? Chiefs have a good offense?
I'm sorry?
The Chiefs have a good offense. Is that confirmed?
Yes.
See, that's why I bring things to the table that you just don't get when Whitey's here. You don't get excellent analysis like
I
that.
don't think he's ever said that.
No, he hasn't. Dare I say?
That's why I'm the bad boy of media.
Yeah, bad boy he doesn't make things like. Never mind.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I think we might have shootouts tonight. Thursday night football.
Yeah. Shoot downs. I hope you're right. I want to see a good game. Just not that optimistic about it. Up next, which NFL coach has the most to prove this year? What the experts say. What you say next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox locks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select major kitchen appliances. And save 10% when you buy select James Hardy plank siding in bulk. Visit us today in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid 8/24 through 9/13. Exclusions apply while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details. Selection varies by location. Discount taken at time of purchase.
Whether you're shopping for your favorite Honda online or in person, you'll see why Stockton Honda is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California and why buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Visit in person or online at StocktonHonda.com, where your favorite Honda is ready for you.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
At your desk, on your phone,
In the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
on Sactown Sports.
The NFL season kicking off this evening. Isn't that wonderful? What's the best food to eat while you're watching football? What's your go-to food? That'll come up in the Factor Fantasy Show. Obviously, I'd be interested in your answer now, but it can and will be used against you in the court of Verlaud.
And we know the law is strict in that court, don't we?
Tough to go against pizza, really, when you think about it, because, you know, you can eat it and you can watch something else while you're eating it.
Well, I messed up on that then last night. Had one of those moments where I always keep an emergency frozen pizza in the freezer.
That's
and
brilliant.
I had planned to make a whole different dinner. My kid's there with me, and it was just like all of a sudden a little fire drill happened. I'm like, kid, we're switching to pizza
That's
tonight.
what it's there for,
That's
right?
what it's there for. The emergency pizza used last night, so I got to restock.
Mm-hmm. Can't go wrong, though.
No, it was good. I was actually really happy I had it.
Also, whatever you're eating while you're watching the game tonight, as long as it's a good game.
Oh, as long as it's a great game. We don't want good. This is the first game of the year. We need great. We need something to come in and talk about and be happy about.
I've been around a little longer than probably you have, but to me, it's still there. That's nice that, okay, we got a game on Thursday, but the opening Sunday, to me, is still the opening day of the NFL.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. Like, I'm not going to go all out tonight for Chiefs Lions on what would be food preparations, getting comfortable, settling in to watch the game. That is 100% reserved for Sunday morning, 10 a.m., Niners Steelers. Now, what do you, because I know we're talking about like perfect, but does this count? What is a good breakfast?
Well, this is something I've been trying to master. I started trying to master this during some of the games in London. Working on breakfast nachos.
Oh,
which is, the idea is you got the chips, which are like waffle chips, and then you've got whipped cream or fruit. I'm trying to figure out the best.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're not a savory guy for football breakfast.
Not for football breakfast. Depending on how early it is. Football brunch, 10 a.m. is the kick for the 49ers. So that's a little later. But that's what I'm working on for quote unquote football breakfast.
Interesting.
Breakfast nachos.
Okay, well, what's your breakfast brunch or what's your brunch then for like the 10 a.m. games?
You can't go wrong with an omelet.
No, I think omelet's actually the right answer.
Of course it is.
You go with chilaquiles, which is sort of a
that's
breakfast
a
nacho.
really good one.
I don't know what that is.
What?
It's kind of like eggs,
I
meat.
think we talked about this once before, but I still don't know
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, I can go, oh yeah, those are great. I
It's
don't know
usually
what it is.
it's usually like eggs, and then like people put like beans and like a meat and a cheese, and then it's all on top of like a tortilla chip.
Chilaquiles?
Chilaquiles.
Yes.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You need to do it. It's
Yeah.
not, and it's
I'm not
that
bad mouthing.
No,
I just
but
frankly, I don't
it's
know
one
what
of
it
those.
is.
The only thing about it, it's one of those dishes is it could be very, very right, or it could be very, very wrong.
But
It
when
sounds like it's very spicy.
it doesn't have
No,
to
it
be.
doesn't have to be.
But when it's very, very right, and it doesn't sound like too much, but when you eat it, you're like, oh my God, how have I been missing this my entire life?
Who's making the best one in town?
In town?
Do we know? Or is it just
Christopher Laud.
Wow.
Maybe my cousin.
There you go. So go to his
It's not
cousin's
something
house
you
on
go to
Sunday.
restaurants and order.
Just knock on his cousin's door. I'm here for
No,
the
the weird thing,
chilaquiles.
the best I've ever had was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, of all places.
Wow.
Like I was like, oh, this is perfect.
Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
Jerry Reynolds is listening right now going, yep, I know
Yeah.
just what
I
he's
know where he's
talking
talking
about.
about.
That place is great. Can you get it with different meats?
Yeah. Like usually people have like a different spin on it everywhere you go.
right.
But like the
For-
base is like an egg and like
Tortilla
chips.
Chilaquiles?
Chilaquiles.
Okay.
Like you're really into the breakfast though, get chorizo on it.
Yes.
Oh, the breakfast sausage?
Yeah.
The chorizo?
Mhm.
Yeah. Chorizos. Well, I always root for the chorizo and the racing sausage.
Oh yeah.
yeah, you
That's my
have
guy.
Which NFL coach is under the most pressure this year, Jay Mars? Before you answer, this is what those writing for The Athletic said. Like, what do they know? But number one, Staley, Brandon Staley, Los Angeles Chargers. Then they go McCarthy, Robert Saleh, Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan in order, Kevin Stefanski. Let's see, Daniels. I'm hesitating here because it's difficult to read my own writing. You've got also Ron Rivera in there as well. And
I was gonna say George Seifert.
but how about that? Staley, McCarthy, Saleh, LaFleur, Shanahan.
I'm not necessarily sure of the order, but all of those guys, to me, it's McCarthy. So they have, with Staley being a close two. Obviously, if there's another year where the Chargers, I see Staley out of there. But
By the way, the coach that I thought was Pylon, it's actually Peyton. So,
Sean Pylon.
I knew there wasn't a coach Pylon. So, oh yeah,
I should have probably been able to translate that for you. To me, it's McCarthy. I think it was such a sign of Jared Jones has no faith in McCarthy when they decided to have him call plays this year. I feel like Jerry is trying to set Mike McCarthy up to fail. And I think if the Cowboys get off to a slow start, I don't think McCarthy makes it. Like, I think McCarthy could be the first guy fired in season if it doesn't work well for Dallas. I think they're looking to get rid of him. So when you talk about pressure, I think he has to perform at an elite level as a head coach this year if he wants to make it back next season.
I think that's a tough job right now because I think the problem in Dallas is you're the head coach. You don't really have any say.
Right.
You're Jerry Jones. You're Jerry Jones's puppet.
Mhm.
So it's never going to work. And when things don't work, you're not going to win, and they're always going to look at the coach.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
so
been
a
that way
vicious
for
cycle.
25 seasons now.
It's almost like you can't win. You can only succeed to a certain extent at this job. And when things go wrong, which they inevitably will, it's going to be your fault.
The one who got it the best understanding that whole puppet thing, because you're 100% correct, was Jason Garrett. Everybody could never figure out, like, how does Jason Garrett still have a job? It's simple. He's a yes man. And Mike McCarthy is not a yes man. He's never struck me as a yes man. If you're not a yes man in Jerry world, you don't last. I mean, it's that simple. Jerry wants guys that are going to do what Jerry says, even though you got to imagine Jason Garrett was probably over the years just like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Also, I get paid a lot of money to coach here. All right, Jerry, we'll go for it. No problem.
Yeah.
I think that's really the mentality you have to have in Dallas.
There's obviously there are expectations for the Jets, but they've never done it. I mean, they've done it before, but it's been a long time. So my point is, Robert Saleh, I think there's a little bit of a grace period. The expectations are high.
It's third season.
Yeah. I mean, if they're pretty good, I think it'll be okay.
What's pretty good for you, like record-wise?
If they win 10, if they go 10-7.
10-7.
Yeah. And if they make even if their record's poor than that and they make the playoffs, ultimately, I think it's got to be hey, you must have done a good job. And if the defense is good because he's a defensive coordinator turned head coach,
right?
That'll reflect.
And the defense was good last year.
Yes.
We were making fun of the idea of it being historic this year. I forgot who said it on the D for them.
One of their corners, yeah.
But I think the same way we factor in McCarthy and you have to factor in ownership, I think you have to do the same thing with Woody Johnson in New York. Not a great NFL owner, not a very patient NFL owner, has had obviously a ton of miscues there since he's taken over in New York. I feel like because they invested in Aaron Rodgers, I think that put so much more pressure on Saleh than what would have been going into year 3, that if Rodgers doesn't succeed and the Jets don't succeed, there's got to be the fall guy. And there's a pretty good history in New York after year 3 of that being the head coach.
Matt LaFleur, 4th on this list. There's no way. They don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore.
Right.
So I can't see how expectations are that high.
No, and he's been a good coach for them for several years. It's not like I can't see that ownership group looking, or I mean, can you even call it an ownership group in Green Bay, but looking over like, man, they stumble and they go 5-12 this year. That's definitely, Matt's lost it, right? Mm-hmm. Or was there something else we lost and we just can't put our finger on it?
But two coaches that have to prove themselves, have to prove kind of for different reasons on different levels. Josh McDaniels and also Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
And I know that, like, wait a minute, Kyle Shanahan's done a much, much better job than Josh McDaniels. Yes, but you come so close to winning and your team's spending so much money. At some point, you have to actually win it.
Right. And I think that is definitely the pressure on Kyle. I don't think he would be fired in the offseason if they lose, but I think the hot seat, it turns up a couple notches for next year, right?
I think so.
Josh McDaniels,
especially with all the gymnastics they've gone through to figure out the quarterback.
Josh McDaniels is an interesting case because I think he's probably safe just because of what you heard last year about how, God, if the Raiders weren't so damn cheap, he would have been out last year already. But it's almost like he's there by default because they don't want to be paying him, Gruden, and a third head coach next year. So I actually think McDaniels is safe just because of what the Raiders have done and how screwy they are with money in that whole situation.
Staley at the top. I think I'm with you. I'd put McCarthy at the top, but I would have Shanahan in the top 3.
Okay, I was going to go top 5, but top 3, that works for me. I think Saleh has more pressure than Shanahan, but Shanahan's top 5 for me for sure.
All right, we'll send this off, and your people can sign it. My people will sign it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do a presser later?
Sure.
Cool.
Coming up next year, more from Rich Paul, more nonsense, I should say, from Rich Paul and how LeBron is treated unfairly by fans and media. It's next year. Whitey and Watkins. Jay Mars is with us today. This is Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Birdie back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday looking bright and sunny. We'll have calm winds out of the southwest, and it feels like summer. Expect daytime highs to peak in the low 90s with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, so much of the A's future success will depend on the development of their young pitching. Take the right-hander Mason Miller, who back in May, in his third major league start, no-hit the Mariners for 7 innings. Well, he's spent the last 3 months on the IL, but he's coming back, pitching out of the bullpen here in September. If he can pitch well and he's healthy, that'll buoy his chances of rejoining the A's rotation in 2024. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
The best cowboys and cowgirls in the country are coming to Marysville.
It must be rodeo time.
They're all coming for the Marysville Stampede PRCA Rodeo.
And we should be there too.
It's Saturday and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville.
Have they raised their prices?
No. Online tickets are good for Saturday or Sunday. Just $20 for adults and $10 for kids 4 to 12. The Marysville Stampede, Saturday, September 16th and 17th. Tickets on sale now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Chanson, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Well, finally, it's here. Week 1, the Raiders, Broncos from Denver. And this longtime rivalry, advantage Raiders as of late. They've won 6 straight against Denver. It'll be the debut of Jimmy Garoppolo, also the debut of Sean Payton, who was brought in to stabilize the Bronco team and revive the career of Russell Wilson. Game time Sunday, 1:25 from Denver. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Did you hear about ACR Solar's free home battery special? Well, for a limited time, get a free LG Chem 10H home battery with a minimum purchase of 12 solar panels. Now, you'll own the system outright with no leasing involved. The offer includes 10-year parts and labor warranty for your added security and peace of mind. Take advantage of a 30% tax credit on your solar panel purchase, as the offer is limited to the first 100 customers only. Visit acrsolar.com to get the offer. The number 916-481-7200.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The NFL kicks off tonight. The Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end, Travis Kelce, after he hyperextended his knee in practice this week. The team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with their star defensive end, Nick Bosa, yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
No Chris Watkins today on this show. He'll be on this afternoon. Who's he on with? How about Brian New? So that'll be
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
So you're saying no Watkins in midday, no Watkins in the afternoon.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Very well done, Chris.
If you're watching the game Sunday, you know that there's going to be some people there. If you watch with a lot of people, there may be somebody say, how come the Steelers only have the emblem on one side of their helmet, not the other? Do you know the answer? I think I know the answer.
I don't think I've ever had anyone ask me that, and I do not know the answer.
I believe they tried it out one year when they first put the one on. They said, let's see how it goes. Put it on one side, and they liked it. And they just said, yeah, it's good like that.
Just that's it, huh?
Yeah.
That's the whole story?
It wasn't like a money-saving thing?
It may have been early on.
Like,
but
we could slash the price in half if we just do half the helmet.
I mean, it may have been, but yeah, they just decided after putting it up there on the right side with the three hypocycloids. I think that's what those things are called. Yeah. They decided, that's good. We're good. I don't need to put one on the other side.
I was hoping they'd put one on both sides and like something weird curse happened to the franchise. And they're like, it's the curse of the two-sided helmet. Get one off.
You ever seen the throwbacks where they have like the yellow helmets?
Yes.
And you've seen the B
the
jerseys.
B uniforms. Those are hideous.
Yeah, but they're
really
kinda
bad.
I mean, if you're gonna wear a throwback, wear a throwback.
No, I agree with you. If you're gonna throw back, like almost go throw up with your throwback.
Yes.
Like the Pistons, they wore those teal jerseys from the 90s this past season. I'm like, those are so disgusting, but I'm really here for you wearing them.
I know the 49ers throwbacks are very popular. George Seifert loved them because they looked like his high school uniforms, but you have like white pants, a red jersey with a white like block numeral. And it's like,
See, I'm not about it. I don't feel very Mitch Trubisky about it, but it's one of those jerseys. I think it's just iconic because of they won. That's what we remember. The last Super Bowl was they had those on. I think that's
what
why
you
those
see
are iconic.
Jerry Rice getting the touchdown
Yes, that's where you see Steve Young throwing bombs is in that jersey. And they wore that jersey that year and they didn't win nothing. Those jerseys aren't coming back.
okay. I've never appreciated the iconicness of those jerseys.
Well,
as much
you
as I
should.
Do you remember when they opened against the Vikings on Thursday Night Football and they wore the all black?
I actually really liked those.
I thought that
those
was a
were
good look.
Super cool.
And I think that was about it. They might have worn them one more time that year, but I'm not even sure.
No, they wore them, I think,
Was that
twice.
the Tom Sula year?
I think you're right, and that might be why they never brought him back.
I don't know. It's a good question. It was either
But, yeah.
Tom Sula or Chip Kelly, I think.
But yeah, I think 1 or 2 times a year wearing
I
the
bet
All
you Chris
Blacks.
remembers them against the Vikings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, wearing those once or twice a year, I think those would be really cool. Did you like when they switched from the red to the maroon and the Vegas
No.
gold? I hated those jerseys.
I didn't understand why they had to do that.
It felt like just change for the sake of change.
Yeah, and I think it was right before that. Do you remember this? We've talked about this on the show. They briefly announced a plan to change the helmet, the logo, changing it from an SF because they were going to move to Santa Clara to a 49er. And you can find those. There's mock-ups, but I believe they announced they were going to do it, and people said nope. And there was so much outrage. They said, all right, we won't do it.
I was going to say, talk about a way not to sell merchandise. That would have been a great way to do it. Is it that like secondary 49ers logo, or was it
I'm
like
not
a
sure.
new mock-up? I'll look it up.
I think it was
but-
a newer one.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
And it
ever.
didn't fly.
There's just like certain primary logos that can't change, right? You can maybe tweak them over the years as the Niners have done, but there's just certain primary logos that should never be changed.
That's another one of my pet peeves is when you have a team like Arizona 20 years ago, whatever it was, and they change the Cardinal and you look at it, it's like, that's the same. It's like, no, he's more fierce now.
Oh, you don't like we've made a little adjustment, but we're going to pretend like this is a big deal.
Yeah, if you make a little adjustment, a tweak, fine, but just don't have like a reveal like I'm
Right.
supposed to be stunned by, wow.
So I'm guessing you're not here
The Browns
for
uniforms now say Browns on the pants.
Oh
Whoa.
my God.
Yeah.
They added an extra stripe on the side.
Right.
So I'm guessing you're also not here for when teams switch uniforms and there's like this entire novel of why they did this, why the piping is this. It represents this part of the city. Is that not the stupidest
fine,
thing in
but
the
I don't- does
No, it's
anybody
not
care?
fine.
Does
It's not
anybody
fine.
care?
It's stupid. It's not fine. It's not okay.
Where are you on the Bengals helmets?
Whatever. I don't have a strong feeling about them one way or the other.
I think they're great because they use the whole helmet rather than just, two-dimensional logo here, logo here. It's like the whole thing. That's really cool.
How do you feel about those all white Broncos sort of throwbacks with the old school color
What I
they're
don't
using
like about
this
them,
year?
they call them the snow cap. There's no, and I thought, okay, there's going to be like a snow cap on the top.
No,
Yeah.
there's not.
I would like to see it. I don't like the name of it, but yeah, I really like the Bengals all white helmets.
Yeah, no, those are actually super cool. Yeah, no, there's certain uniforms that you see, and it's just like, especially for me, when you have like, it's a really bad look when your throwback is like way better than your jersey now. And it's like, why don't you just go back to that?
To me, the worst throwbacks were about 10 years ago, and the Packers wore throwbacks to when they were just barely professional.
Oh, I
team.
remember that. Those
And
were
teams didn't have
hideous.
helmets then, and the helmets they did have were like this, so their helmets were just brown.
Right. Yeah, that was disgusting. That was really bad. What's a throwback another throwback that's either really cool or really crap?
We're gonna get
Football.
the Oilers this year. The Titans gonna wear Oilers
Which
throwbacks.
is a weird one because that's so Houston based. I know they were the Tennessee Oilers when they first got there. I like the idea of them wearing their throwbacks, but it is kind of a weird
the
thing.
Seahawks
right?
are wearing their throwbacks.
What if the Ravens wore Browns throwbacks?
They can't.
I know. I'm just being.
But yes.
Yeah.
And
That would
Browns
be
that's the thing. Browns throwbacks.
It's the
What's
same
the
jersey.
difference?
I really like the Seahawks throwbacks though. I love those that more of that traditional blue color.
Do you know why they have more throwbacks this year? Why they're wearing more last
Yeah,
couple
to
of years?
sell more jerseys. I'm guessing.
Well, that and because they changed the rules. Because a couple of years ago, you were only allowed to wear one helmet the whole year because of safety. They were so concerned about concussions. And now, as I mentioned to you earlier, I'm not sure that player safety is the primary concern of the NFL.
You're coming
so
with
changed,
seems like a cash grab.
They've changed the rules, and research shows
conspiracies.
that these helmets are just as safe. You don't have to wear one for a whole year anymore.
Wasn't that a grab? Yeah, wasn't that a whole thing with Antonio Brown with his little baby stint with the Raiders, like the helmet thing? Like they wanted him to change helmets.
That's
He's like, no,
that's
I'm
right.
not changing helmets. This is protecting me. This one doesn't.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you might be onto something about the cash.
Just keep it in mind.
All right.
Real quick, because I know I had alluded to it. Rich Paul is, great friends with LeBron James, more than 20 years. And Rich Paul was on Gil's Arena podcast, and he was on with Kenyon Martin, Brandon Jennings. They're talking about the bubble championship, which we kind of joked about it earlier. And Rich Paul asked this question: if Steph Curry wins in the bubble, do they discredit it? The panel, they all said, yes. Rich Paul said, no, they don't. He says it's a LeBron thing. He says LeBron doesn't get the credit he deserves for winning that championship because it was in the bubble. And I say anybody who won that championship was not going to get as much credit for it.
Dare I say, this is not a bold prediction, but a bold statement. Had the Warriors and Steph won it, it would have been more discredited than LeBron and the Lakers. Because I think there was Warriors fatigue at the time. I think there's Warriors fatigue now. And there wasn't really LeBron Lakers fatigue yet. Because of the Warriors fatigue at that time, it had been discredited 10 times more.
Oh, if Kevin Durant went in the bubble?
Oh, man.
He still can't win without the Warriors.
Of course, that was the year the Warriors won 15 games. But your point is well taken.
Yes.
You're right. And if somebody that had never...
I do like those people that give out hypotheticals, and when they're proven wrong, they say, nope, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a future in sports.
Sounds
talk.
like Rich Paul thought that whole panel was going to agree with him, right?
Yeah. They all said, yeah, it would be discounted. No, you're wrong. Wouldn't be. Think if Denver had won their first one then, no one would take it seriously.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Could you now, how would we felt if the Kings won the title in the bubble?
Luckily, we didn't have to worry about
that.
that.
Nope, we don't. But, man, boy, would that have been something.
That was so
strange. Our one title's in the bubble.
Yeah. So glad that's over. It's interesting, though. I mean, it's funny. The Lakers have that championship. LeBron with Heat when they beat the Thunder. That was a shortened season. The Dodgers have won a couple World Series in shortened seasons because of strikes. Like, I don't know. I don't think any of them.
You've been waiting all day to get
these
that
are facts.
In, right?
I am mentioning
you've been
these
waiting
are facts.
all day for that
1981 World Series and then 2020 World Series.
You've been waiting all darn day for that.
They
you finally got it count.
No.
Okay. Oh, and I know he's going to jump on that too. Let's screw both of you.
Actually, I mean, I am a fan of Jim Kelly. But not Jim Kelly.
Me too, I guess.
Joe Kelly.
Yeah, Joe. Oh, JK.
I was wondering where we're going there. Like, I like Jim Kelly too.
Joe, I see where the confusion comes in.
The new kickoff rules had no impact on the preseason. You know, the whole fair catch on the kickoff thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why that could all change tonight. It's next year, Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing. But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I could not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
J-Mar's in for Watkins today. Why do they keep tinkering with the rules of this game that everyone loves, J-Mars?
To make it better.
Make it safer?
No, to make it better.
This seems like a cash grab.
You can't make football safe. We know that. I understand the importance of trying to make it
Flag
safer.
football.
But,
NFL could go to flag football.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Okay, well.
They are playing more and more flag football in high schools, aren't they?
Yeah, I've seen that.
And women's flag football, which
Yeah.
is tremendous.
Guys, go, crash your heads together still. Women, fine, flags.
I've said for many years, one of the worst things about getting older is that as you get older, your friends don't want to play football anymore.
So
That's football. It's
you're
like
still-
no one, it's like, let's play. Nah, I can't. Come on. It sucks.
Just get younger friends. That's all you got to do.
That's even worse.
We'll take you out.
You can't keep up with it.
We'll take you out to the local disco, and you can make some friends with some of the younger guys. They're down to play football on a Saturday.
Time when you're like on Saturday, let's go. Yeah, let's go play football. And you get older, it's like people have lives and things to do, and they don't want to play. How can you not want to go out and play touch football? What's wrong with you?
Do they want to play basketball at least still?
Some of them.
Okay, so you have basketball at least, yeah. I see all the videos all the time of you'll see the rec leagues of guys, and they're like 70 still getting it.
Yeah.
I hope and I pray to have that energy when I'm 70 that I still want to get on a basketball court
Mm-hmm.
with other guys my age and actually competitively try to beat them.
That's a good question. How old is too old? And I think it just depends.
such
'cause you
thing.
get to a point where your body says, we're done here. Hello, upstairs. We can't do this anymore.
Have you guys seen those ads online? It's for this new football game. It's almost like a combination football cornhole. Yeah. So it's with these baskets or whatever, and you start on each side and you throw it, and if you get it, if you hit the basket, you get 1 point. If you get it through into the hole, that's a touchdown. And you actually comes with field goal posts, so you can also kick, and that's the extra point. It's I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay,
Wait.
this is actually fantastic.
Is it a game you can buy? Or are they trying to get people to sign up to play it?
No, it's like
or
a game.
Is this like a hallucinate?
It might have been one of my UFO inspiration, but no, yeah, it's like a I'll have to show it to you guys during one of the breaks.
Okay.
I feel like this is what the Pro Bowl is going to turn into in a couple of years, is what he's describing. That, like, okay, I can see that. Yeah. So maybe you can convince your friends to play that game.
Well, you have to have friends too. That's the other thing. I didn't want to get into that. Difficult. But we do have the new kickoff rules going into effect tonight. Under 1-year rules change approved by NFL owners in the spring, the ball, as you probably know, will be placed on the 25-yard line if the kickoff returner makes a fair catch inside the 25-yard line. In the preseason, no impact. The Rams had the only fair catch of a kickoff in week 2 of the exhibition season. That was it. And part of the reason for that is teams want to evaluate players. Mm-hmm. They want to see what you can do when you return it. Can you catch the ball? And obviously having somebody back there, fair catch, like, no, we can't tell anything. So that's one of the reasons, if not the single biggest reason, why we didn't see fair catches during the preseason.
I feel
we
like
might start seeing it tonight.
I feel like this rule is in place for those teams that have terrible special teams. Terrible special teams. It's like, which, you know, I get it, but also it's like we should reward you for having terrible special teams that you can start on the 25, you know, because you're going to have certain teams out there that have a punt returner or a kick returner that just stink. They have trouble catching the ball. They don't get many return yards. It's almost like it's a free pass for those teams now to not put a whole lot of effort into your special teams. I think this rule sucks, if I'm being honest.
By the way, did you see that Ray McLeod was practicing again for the 49ers? And before the Raider preseason game, he broke his wrist.
Yeah.
And he's practicing again.
I know. It's actually very exciting as a 49ers fan that he's practicing again. Just goes to show you, I think like everybody returns. Have you noticed this? Every single person returns way ahead of time now, right? It's almost like they put these timetables out there just to be extra super cautious. But I think McLeod was like 6 to 8 weeks, and he's already back in practice. He'll be back before 8 weeks. I don't even think that's going to be particularly close. He might be back by week 2 for all we know.
It depends on the sport. And I know this isn't funny. And Patrick Bailey, I don't know that he entered concussion protocol, but I remember guys like Brandon Belt, Aoki of the Giants. Remember him? Yeah. The guys would go into the concussion protocol in baseball and they'd be out for weeks. And in football, he'll be back. He might miss a game, but he'll be back.
Yeah, he might. It's weird how in baseball, you have to miss a lot of time with concussions, but in football, where you would think, one would imagine that they're A, more prominent, and B, a much likelier chance of repeating.
Yeah.
It's just like, he was a little dizzy for 3 days, and, magically he's out of the protocol now and be good.
Yeah. Norichika Aoki. Remember, he had issues with it. Belt was like hit in the face during warm-ups once, and he was out a long time, and football players get concussions. You go in the blue tent.
Yeah.
All right, it's good.
Yeah, no, and it's like, with what we saw with Tua last year, right? It's like, oh my God, is that like the prime example of, I don't think the NFL cares about player safety.
But they want us to think they do, and that's why we have this new rule. 38% of kickoffs were returned last season. The league projects that to fall to 31% this season with the new rule.
Okay. Like, again,
it's going to get to the point where it's like, if everything is a touchback, why even the kickoff is an endangered species?
Right. No, I was just about to say, if that's the case, just start the ball on the 25 every time. We don't even need to have kickoffs anymore. Just do that.
Special teams coaches have spent more time practicing squib kicks this preseason, more than in 2022. 27 were attempted to 20 last season. But the average starting position following a squib kick was the 29-yard line. So teams are still trying to figure out how they can maximize this new rule strategically, but it looks like it's just going to result, as the league planned, on fewer returns,
right?
More touchbacks.
Yay. Super exciting for
safer football.
Love touchbacks. Big touchback house here. Yeah. I think it's one of the more exciting plays in football is when you get the touchback. Mm-hmm. No, again, it's just, and it, to me, like I said, it just, if you got a crappy special teams and you have a crappy returner, this is just like basically giving you an out, which changes the dynamic of the game. I'll say this, I really wish this rule was in place, 10 plus years ago when Kyle Williams was returning kicks for the 49ers in the playoffs against the Giants.
Thanks for bringing
that. This rule would have been excellent at that point. But it goes to what I'm saying, right? It takes away an element of the game that is so crucial. Ugh.
The kickoff return and the punt return, when someone busts one, it's arguably the most exciting play in football. I think the long bomb.
Can you think of one outside of the long bomb? You have a good one there. There's not really that more of an exciting play, man.
The extra point.
God, yes, the PAT. Well, as a Niners fan, you'll probably be on the edge of your seat for those this season.
Wasn't there a time when people would have answered that question with, "Oh, that big hit over the middle"?
Yes, we talked about it. It was the plays that would end up on Jacked Up on ESPN, and now it's just like you see a guy get hit that hard, you're just like you're cringing almost.
Right.
It went from being cheered
suspension.
Yes, you can't do that anymore. But yeah, once upon a time that was it. But I still think, to me, it's always been the kick or the punt return. Remember Dante Hall back in the day? It was must-watch football when he got the ball punted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to kill that element of the game for safety? Like, I feel like there's so many other safety issues outside of the punt or kick return that we should be looking at, given that guys can fair catch the ball already, right, if they're in danger. Again,
Devin Hester, baby.
Devin Hester was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Hester was super fun to watch.
I get it. Concussions are no good. But
I'm not, like I said, and it sounds
we're
weird.
not pro-concussion.
No, we're not. And we're also not mocking the idea of making the game safer. It's just, this ain't it. This isn't the way.
Unfortunately, I think being pro-football makes you pro-concussion.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point.
Yeah, can't really argue that one.
Coming up next
Chris,
year.
Shut up with your good points. Stop.
Yeah, you could have kept that one to yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to say everything that comes into your head. What Nick Bosa's new deal means for the 49ers this week, this season, and next season, and beyond. That's next year. It's Whitey and Watkins with J Mars in today. Sactown Sports. And we're staying on the YouTube channel here. People making fun of me because I still don't know the name of the thing you guys said. Oh, we'll take care of that. Put yourself in audition.
I can do
so
that.
To
I can do
speak.
that, guy.
Yeah. Good?
I can hear you now. Oh, stop it. What's going on in the chat today?
People are making fun of me, or at least one person making fun of me, because I have never heard of that thing you guys talked about, the Chili's Segundo or whatever.
Yep.
Chilaquiles.
That's it.
Chilaquiles.
Yes,
Yeah.
you should goggle it.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's the food that we ate.
Chile.
Good brunch.
Okay. Chile. I get the Chile. Chile like Q? Chiles?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good talk.
I'm not criticizing it or
You should. I'm telling you,
disparaging it.
you will really like it.
I don't know what that is.
It's an excellent dish.
And I'm really quite
You know what? Screw the whole
connoisseur.
breakfast, football breakfast you're working on with the waffles and stuff. I think you just need to go on and make your own of these.
I'm probably not spelling it right here.
Google's, yeah, there you go.
Chilaquiles. Okay, I found it. Yeah. Traditional Mexican breakfast dish. Corn tortillas cut into quarters and lightly fried. That's awesome.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's
Why
really
didn't you
good.
guys tell me about this?
Breakfast nachos.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's kind of it's actually what you were trying to do. These are real breakfast nachos.
I will definitely try that. It looks like, I don't know if you guys know this, looks like you could put a bunch of different things in there too.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, right? This just in.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to enlighten you today.
Mm-hmm.
Are you making those this weekend now? Niners game at 10. They're perfect.
Sheena always makes, it's a tradition, we have nachos.
They're nachos.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe change it up a little bit.
What's the difference then? Is there more egg? I think these have more
Yeah,
egg
these
in
have
them or
egg
something.
in them, and you're actually frying them. And again,
We'll
you can
see.
kind of have different
Nachos
toppings.
are pretty good.
Oh, I'm not. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Why are you
We
taking
are pro
shots?
nachos.
No,
Why are you taking shots at my wife's nachos?
I'm not
I don't-
taking shots at
Look at that.
anything that your wife cooks. I'm just saying, you know
That
what?
Seems like it's crossing the line. but-
It's not. I'm simply trying to help the marriage evolve and find new things. You know, they say you got to grow a marriage over time and you got to find new things that interest you and stuff. I think this might be a great avenue.
You're suggesting that I cook it?
Yes.
Well, that's not a good idea.
Okay. I thought you were a
It's not
chef.
that I'm not willing to, but it's just probably not a good idea.
For the rest of the house's sake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, last time I think I tried to make an omelet, I ruined it. And I was like, how? I don't even know how I could do that.
Can you at least scramble eggs?
Well, I think so. I think so. I think I could
He
do
is
that.
adding a little bit of milk to make them fluffy.
No.
Yes.
no.
Yes.
My grandmother used to say that.
Yeah, it's true.
About the eggs. You're
No.
not down with that? Verla?
No, because it's the idea is it makes them fluffier. But what I do is I'm constantly stirring them as they're cooking to make it fluffier.
Well, you can do that too, but now combine it with milk and you got the ultimate fluffy egg.
All right. Yeah. I appreciate the lesson there.
Who's in the YouTube chat today?
Dwayne Baker.
Hi, Dwayne.
Spider Tint. Manny Too Legit, of course. Manny was up. Emmy.
Emmy's in there.
Yeah, Beeman with us today.
I appreciated Emmy coming on when I was filling in afternoons last week and yelling at FP Jr. That was excellent.
Pike 916 was the one taking shots at me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Pike.
Just said that, why do you had your first Chris Watkins moment, which was kind of
hurts.
Kind of I didn't mind it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have minded it. I
don't mind being compared to Rick.
Rick Watkins?
Yeah. Don't mind that.
Wet blanket Rick is what they call him down
Pike
at the local distillery.
Yeah. Pike says that wasn't me. It was you, Pike.
Oh, now he's about to take a real shot at you.
Oh, no, it's CK916.
I'm
sorry. CK916. Whitey, congratulations. Just had your first Chris Watkins moment.
And Pike, now you can take a shot at him for, misquoting you. Or I can't even say misquoting you. You didn't even say it.
Russell says, Whitey followed me on Twitter and I feel blessed.
Russell. Glad Russell's. I'm always glad when Russell's in.
Yeah, Russell sometimes has kind of he's not as optimistic as other people, but when he is optimistic, he means it.
One might even call Russell a contrarian.
Not me.
No?
Nope.
Ah, interesting. All right. Russell guy.
Welcome to football season. Can't wait for the 49ers opener. That's going to be Sunday. If I wanted to hear the game, Jay, where would I be able to hear the 49ers?
Oh, my God. I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Not only can you hear the game, but the pregame at 9 a.m. right here on the Sactown Sports 1140, followed by the great Greg Papa, who I know will be on with Dave, Jason, and myself tomorrow at 8. He will have the call at 10.
Ayuk is on fire.
That's true. If he says that like 5 times tomorrow, I bet the Niners win, or on Sunday.
I was not overly optimistic about the outcome of this game, but after yesterday, I am optimistic about the outcome of this game.
I feel
from a 49ers standpoint.
I feel a lot better that the bear is back, so to speak.
You heard the audio of him on the field saying, "Hey, that's a Sackaroonie." You know that?
Yes.
One? Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, Nick Bosa, more than 3 syllables. Sackaroonie. Yeah, it's 4.
How is he as good as he is? He's even better than his brother.
Yeah, and his brother's a really good football player.
Right.
Didn't know if you knew that. I don't know, man. First of all, he's just a specimen of his human being. Just ask his mom. That was her quote the other day. Like, Nick is a specimen. It just sounds weird coming out of someone's mom's mouth, by the way, that their child is a specimen.
I'll allow it.
But I digress.
He's a football player, so,
sure.
Yeah.
But again, I think he's just a freak athlete. He's ridiculously strong. But the Bosas are also just noted for having an amazing workout regimen. Like, I think those guys legitimately, they'll say, man, he eats, breathes, lives football. I think they actually do. I think they eat footballs. I think they breathe footballs. And I think they live with footballs. Like, I don't think those guys legit have anything. Like, what do you think Nick Bosa has hobbies? I don't think Nick Bosa has hobbies outside of football.
We have to find that out. It's a great question.
And I don't think Joey Bosa has hobbies outside of football. I think it's just been pigskin since birth.
There was no question that the Bosas were not going to back down. I say the Bosas because I assume, he had his whole family in his corner because the dad had been a pro football player and he was a first-round pick and he got hurt and he realized, wow, you get hurt. That's it. You're done.
There's no money in getting hurt.
Right. And the brother had been through it. So they knew Nick, you know what you're worth. We know what you're worth. They know what you're worth. You're going to get it.
Yeah. And I think they would have legitimately never reported had he not gotten his money. I think they were there. And I think that ultimately the 49ers finally got that sense yesterday. I quoted again, Diana Rossini from The Athletic, who's as plugged in as anybody, about an hour before it happened.
Going after her almost as often as you're going after my wife's nachos.
I'm not going after anybody's nachos or reporting. I'm just saying what happened. Diana Rossini. About an hour before this contract happens is like, these sides are so far apart on all of this. It's not a, all right, one of us has to budge, but it did definitely feel like the 49ers were just like kind of what you're alluding to. Okay, he's not backing down. We have to play football here in a few days, and he's totally okay not playing. Screw it, give him the money. And I think that was ultimately the correct call, especially in football. I have zero issue with guys being selfish. Zero issue. Get every last penny you can of guaranteed money because, again, you never know when your career is going to end. And we've seen it happen too many times to guys.
I know that a lot of people, and I've been one of them over the last couple of weeks, have been pretty critical of the Niners and the way things are going and the Niner way and how arrogant they appear to be in Kyle Shanahan's scheme arrogance. But the fact that we didn't know much about how these negotiations were going, I think it speaks to the fact that the Niners are great when it comes to avoiding leaks. And
Yeah.
they used to be bad at that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Nick Bosa's agent and the Bosa family deserve credit for this as well. We didn't know what was going on because they didn't want anyone to know.
No.
They kept it in-house.
I mean, I think in Bosa's side,
they knew that we're working on getting this done.
And as you know, though, but I think they put out little nuggets, right? Just a little bit there when it came to, we're far apart on money.
That was the one. Yeah,
that was the
one.
And I think that was Bosa's camp that put that out.
I do too.
Because why would the 49ers put that out? So,
Right.
no, they were like, okay, we're getting towards the finish line. We're not quite there. We're not budging. Let's put a little bit out here. And I think that probably helped bring the Niners back to the table because whether it's guys on sports talk radio like us, podcast, articles,
no other guys
fans,
in sports talk radio like us.
No, that is true. But
thank goodness.
Everybody was basically saying the same thing, like, that's it. That's the money. Get it done. I think the Niners felt that pressure. I think it was a very smooth move on Bosa's side.
I do think they got stung by a leak during the Trey Lance story.
Yeah.
I don't know. Emil was, he may have written about this, sactownsports.com, but he was telling me the way this apparently went. And I know we're talking about Bosa now, but as far as leaks go with the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan makes his pronouncement that we don't have a number 2 quarterback announcement yet. We'll do that right before the season starts. And Sam Darnold and Trey Lance have the same agent. So the agent says, we're not good with that.
Right.
So the next day,
Hell no.
Kyle tells Trey.
Their agent's Mike Malone.
Yeah. I'm surprised too. Yeah, he's had quite a year.
No kidding.
So then Kyle tells Trey, this is the deal. You're not number 2. Next thing you know, that gets out.
Yes. And again, that was Trey Lance's side.
The 49ers were like reeling, and that's why they didn't have a statement or anything. So I was like, we're not prepared for this.
Yeah, so let's go send Fred Warner out real quick. He'll take care of everything for us. And I think Lance's side played that correctly. Again, when you talk about Bosa's side, I think playing it correctly with the leak of the $4 million gap. I think Lance's side knew, like, we want him out of here ASAP. Here's how we do that. We just blow this whole thing up. And it worked. Trey Lance, by all means, it seems like Trey Lance was really excited to go to Dallas. So
I think the 49ers, and Kyle Shanahan said it was a mistake drafting him and the way it all worked out and he got hurt. It was a mistake. But all that said, the fact that they got a 4th round pick for Trey Lance,
insane.
Yeah, it was. They fleeced Jerry Jones and the Cowboys.
I thought they might have gotten a 6th or 7th. That's where I was looking. I'm like, all right, that's probably the value there. And I saw like a 4th with Dallas. I'm like, oh, Jerry just wanted to make a headline and in Jerry's own way, put a little pressure on Mr. Dakota Prescott.
I think so. I agree with that.
I think that's how Jerry operates, right?
Yes. I think there's something to be said for, hey, you don't want to treat anybody to the Cowboys, but on the other hand, they're the only ones dumb enough to give us a 4th round pick. And so a number of things here, and it was just yesterday, there were some clouds hanging over the 49ers as they got ready for the opener, but those clouds have drifted away. Bosa's in camp. Kittle is practicing, and I know Matt Barrows mentioned this today. Moody is supposed to play. It looks like he's healthy. So all of a sudden it's like, whoa, Kyle Shanahan has some things to actually smile and be in a good mood about.
And he was yesterday. It was such a different Kyle Shanahan. It's this.
Looks like it was distasteful to you.
Yeah, no, usually it's, because you get used to a certain thing with Kyle, and seeing him happy, like, should make me happy, but it doesn't, because it's not disingenuous, but it's so rare that it's like, that can't be your actual mood, right? You can't actually be happy right now. But he's over there answering reporter questions. It's like he wanted the questions to keep coming in. He's making jokes. He's having a good time. He just sounded like the most relieved person in the room yesterday.
And I'm sure he was right up there. Top 10 most relieved people in the world yesterday.
Absolutely.
He was in that group.
Top 5, I would say. I'll go top 5.
Same miracle.
Yes.
So for this week, the 49ers in great shape now. I don't think it's really an issue as far as how much Bosa is going to play.
I think, what did Shanahan say yesterday? How many snaps are in the game?
Yeah.
That's how much Bosa's playing this weekend.
As far as this year now, they're back on track. I don't think it's an overstatement to say without Nick Bosa, they're not a Super Bowl contender.
I think you, sir, if this were Factor Fantasy, Judge Verlad would have given you all of the points, all of the available points.
That's the fact. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'd be able to put that helmet on, but this isn't Factor Fantasy. That's coming up.
Okay. All right. Now I want to give you a chance to go back over your supposed Bosa prediction you made this week that you didn't get credit for or something, and like, get the wambulance ready.
Yeah, no, and the wambulance is outside ready to take me, and I'm going to ride it all the way to the court.
Call the wambulance.
Because I said,
okay,
on this very program, Don't worry, because you were like, oh, the 49ers should be concerned because
Nick
Bosa he's not signed yet. And oh my gosh, they could go to Pittsburgh without Nick Bosa.
I very rarely talk that way.
And I said to the judge, relax, they're fine, nothing to be concerned about. Bosa is signing this week. And I was told no. And you got all the points.
Interesting strategy going into Factor Fantasy.
Nicole, I hear you back there. Keep your mask on.
Well, I do. And I remember, not to relitigate everything, because who would want to do that? It was very well litigated in the first place. But yeah, the question was it a problem for the 49ers?
It's not.
And it's not now, but it was then.
I mean, if you look at Kyle's reaction,
yes,
it seemed like a problem to him.
And you look at the reaction from the players yesterday who talked about, yes, oh, we were afraid we were going to have to play without him.
Maybe
it was a concern.
Maybe they're all putting on an act.
Maybe they're not.
Because it's not like Kyle Shanahan's gone on into the media recently and said something that wasn't true. That's all I'm saying. And maybe I was well sourced. Did you think of that?
Never crossed my mind.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've learned.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah. That was like, what? But I know I've learned you do have some significant sources.
Yes.
There.
So please appreciate that my Factor Fantasy answers come from a place of not, I think this is happening. I know it's happening.
This is not helping you. It's not really helping you in Judge Verlaud's court. But we'll see how it goes today.
That's fine.
We'll see how it goes.
I got something nice for the judge today. Don't worry. I may have buttered the judge up.
Someone may or may not have actually seen me giving him money today, but I'm glad there was no actual record of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder you've won like the last 3 days.
You got to do what you got to do.
All right, Tim Donahue.
What does this mean for the 49ers next year? At some point, what's that voice you said I use? Because I want to use that voice.
Oh, what does this mean for the 49ers next year? They're not going to have enough money to keep all their players.
Yeah. Well, there's some truth to that.
There's actually a lot of truth to that. Yeah, it's like, I get it. They're going to try to win the Super Bowl this year, probably next year as well. But a guy that's got to get paid next year is Brandon Ayuk, who if you believe the hype coming out of training camp, like this is the year that he breaks out. The problem is the NFL has a hard cap. Now, as we've seen, and yesterday's a great example, there are ways to circumvent the salary cap. The 49ers with the deal with Bosa yesterday, they restructured deals for Kittle and Trent Williams, paid him a lot of money up front now with the signing bonus. And I think total in signing bonuses yesterday, Jed York paid $73 million. That's a significant chunk of money. But
it also creates $24.6 million in cap space.
Right.
Yes.
And so with that being like, oh, we can use that cap space. Like if we really feel we're one piece away at the trade deadline, let's make another Christian McCaffrey level trade midseason. You now have that available. But I think if they don't use it, it's big because you're going to have to pay Brandon Ayuk. One way or the other, you're going to have to pay Brandon Ayuk. So now you've created a little bit of cap space because if you don't, you had mentioned it. And I think this is a reality. Especially if Ayuk becomes the number one receiver and, you have McCaffrey on the roster, you have George Kittle on the roster. Is Deebo Samuel a trade candidate? And you'll get a good haul for him. Now, I get that haul will probably be draft picks.
It's hard to get a good haul for anybody in football, though. I mean, even good quarterbacks.
I guess a good haul, is just like multiple draft picks, right? With a first being in there. That's considered a good haul at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Niners gave up a second, third, and a fourth last year for McCaffrey, and there were people like applauding the Panthers for getting so much worth for McCaffrey. And I always thought, like, man, Christian McCaffrey or a second, third, and a fourth. I think I'd want Christian McCaffrey, but that's just me.
Right.
But, so I think the Niners will get some decent picks, but the problem they could potentially run in there, it's like, okay, great. We freed up the cap space. We got Ayuk. You still got to replace Deebo's productivity. And we saw this backfire massively with them when they traded DeForest Buckner to Indianapolis for a first. And like, all right, we'll just replace Buckner with Kinlaw.
Yeah.
That failed really badly. So that, again, has the potential to break up this team next season. And the season after that, I think it gets even worse.
Yeah, the downside here, potentially downside, Matt Mayoka with the report. Brandon Ayuk scheduled to make a fully guaranteed $14.1 million next season after they picked up his fifth-year option. And so we're talking about maybe it's great for both sides if they work out an extension before next season in order to reduce his cap figure for 2024. So the upside here is if you're Brandon Ayuk, you're playing this year for a lot of money.
Yes,
you're playing to
a
show
lot of money.
you're worth a lot of money, and that's a great situation for the 49ers. Debo, you could also argue, is playing for his job.
Right.
Now, Bosa is like, he's got his bag now, the Bosa bag. Bosa. Is he going to be the same guy? Probably.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
They don't, Joey
it's
Bosa.
good to have players who are in contract years.
Right. No, it's always good to have players in contract years. Here's the other side of it too, is what does that look like for Ayuk from a stance of, are they going to pay him based upon numbers? Because you're in an offense right now where on any given Sunday or Thursday or Monday or Saturday, a player,
Late in the season Saturday,
McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle can all just have these monster games where they don't call Ayuk's number a lot. That's the other side of it going into these contract negotiations for an Ayuk. It's like, man, I'm prepared to have the career season, but if Brock Purdy's looking George Kittle's way a lot or Debo's way a lot, that could really impact his negotiations.
Good luck to him. Good luck to the 49ers. By the way, 78 catches, 1,015 yards, 8 touchdowns last year.
That's pretty good. I think he'll build on that this year.
Yes. Coming up next, which 49er will fans complain about the most? I don't know if you remember when Tevin Coleman.
Yes.
And maybe it was just a Bay Area thing, not so much around here. I don't know. For some reason, fans couldn't stand everything. Was like, oh, Tevin Coleman's terrible.
He's
like,
only on this team because Shanahan liked him in Atlanta.
Yes. So I'm wondering if we have any thoughts yet on which 49er fans are going to complain about the most this year. We're coming right back with that next year. Whitey and Watkins, Jammers today. Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Appreciate you being with us. Some nice comments today on the chat.
That's a first.
Yeah. Whitey Gleason and Jay Mars today. If you're, you need your Chris Watkins, right? It's like, wait a minute, I need Chris Watkins. He'll be along today, 2:00. And who's he on with? How about no? Brian, no.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a good one. You
said it twice. I'm probably going to stick with it. Verlon had the best one. I can't top that.
Oh, yes. It's no Watkins.
No Watkins
on
in
this
midday.
show. Yeah.
No Watkins in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We're not topping that.
Nope.
So I feel like we shouldn't even bring up the fact that he's on anymore.
You're kind of sucking up to the judge again. I got to call you out on that.
Do you want the good news or the bad news? You get Watkins at 2.
Yes.
But only till 4:30 today. But the good news is NFL football at 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
That's right. Chris Watkins is not going to enjoy talking about the Lions. I know that. He's with me as far as
I've learned about Watkins is, he really, the wet blanket thing's not a gimmick. By the way, this is really Chris. Chris is a Vikings fan. He doesn't like talking about his own team.
That defense mechanism.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's like no expectations are good expectations.
I mean, he's a real fan.
Yes, no,
too.
he really likes the Vikings. He can talk to you about them. He just doesn't like to do it.
One of the things I noticed about a lot of 49er fans the last couple of years, I think this happens with different teams in different areas. Maybe it happens more with a really good team, but 49er fans have their guys that, I love the team, but that guy.
Guy.
And I noticed this a couple of years ago with Tevin Coleman. We just talked about it before the break. Fans would, Tevin Coleman. You know, you look at his numbers like, he's a pretty good player, and he was a really good player in Atlanta, but there was something about him that fans resented. I think the offensive lineman that just signed with Denver.
Oh, McGlinchey.
Yes, Mike McGlinchey was another one. Like, McGlinchey.
Okay.
You know,
Got me. I was one of those guys.
And he had a pretty good year. What was it? He had a good year run blocking, but not pass blocking, whichever it was last year.
It doesn't matter.
He signed it for a ton of money with the Broncos.
McGlinchey could have had the most amazing season, but to your point, he was always going to be that guy. And I think you need to get that guy trophy. And it's McGlinchey being thrown around in that NFC title game against the Eagles. That will forever be in Niners fans' mind. So when you award that guy award every season, that should be the trophy.
Yes, there was a listener that always texts me about Mike McFlinchy.
Oh, I get it.
And Dan Unskill.
Oh, instead of Brunskill.
Yes.
That guy's super creative.
Yes, I know. It's tremendous, but I can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, thank you. So who are the guys on this team that 49er fans are going to be like, oh, not him again. Oh, we would have won if not for this
You're
guy.
not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Do we have candidates?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I think McKivitz is probably going to be.
Oh, yeah. McKivitz is up there. I think Diamador Lenore this year is definitely going to be that guy. If there's a big play downfield, it's going to be Lenore's fault.
And I think my guy, and I still think he's going to bounce back from his injury and have a good year. The rookie, the kicker, I think.
Ooh, that. I think you landed. I think you have. That is the number one answer on the board.
If
Moody is that guy.
If he misses one important kick in the first 3 games of the year,
Done.
even especially if they end up losing the game, it's going to be just burned into the brains. Like, this guy's unreliable.
He is now not Jake. He's not going to no longer be Jake Moody. He'll forever be known as not Robbie Gold, right?
Yeah.
That will be how we call him.
Yep.
Not Robbie Gold going out there to kick.
Oh, how many times are people going to hear that? The guy they had last year never missed a kick.
What was his name?
Yeah.
The kicker guy.
Why didn't they keep him? I don't know.
Salary cap.
On the other hand, if Money Moody is good from 63, 64 even.
Money.
Yeah. Then I don't think we'll hear a lot of that.
I don't know.
Depends on how he starts the season.
I think it depends on how he starts his season. I think even worse for him is, let's say he has a really good regular season, converts on 90% of his kicks. Amazing.
That would be great.
Be amazing, right? He's amazing. The first kick missed in the playoffs, though. Then he's really not Robbie Gould.
You're
Robbie
right.
Gould's 100% in the playoffs.
You're right. Yeah. And once you miss one, you're not Robbie Gould no matter what you do after that.
Yep.
No matter what.
You'll forever be that guy. You're like the Ray Finkel of the 49ers now.
Yeah. But at this point, obviously, that sounds like a nice thing to be in the playoffs.
No, it does. And I think the Niners have a good chance of being in the playoffs.
It would take, I don't even want to think about what it would take for them to miss the playoffs, but if they did, oh my goodness.
They would have to suffer more injuries this season than they did in that 2020 season where they suffered a ton, because that division is just bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Seahawks are a competent football team and they're going to give you a run, but the Rams are terrible. I've always said this. I've always held this to be a standard fact. Always. If you have to get out in front of the media because your quarterback's wife said something on her podcast, things are awry.
That's a very strange situation.
Yeah.
They were talking about that again yesterday. Matt Stafford addressed it.
Yes.
So
that's what I'm saying. If you're addressing that during leading into week 1, things probably aren't going well.
Kelly Stafford says it during her podcast, right?
Yes.
That Matt doesn't connect with the young players. Then the coach has to address it, which is like, why are you doing that, coach? And then the quarterback himself addressed it again yesterday.
And the thing is, it sounds like Kelly might be right. Like, I think
the more they tell me there's something to it, I realize,
there's a lot to it. Yeah, like Matt's looking to go hang out, and these guys are like, nah, Matt, we're good. There's this YouTube video we got to watch on our phone. And he's just like, what the hell? How am I supposed to pass to guys that don't want to go play cards, instead want to watch YouTube? How am I supposed to get the ball downfield to them?
Yeah. The more they tell us, obviously. There's nothing to it. No big deal.
And then,
what is a big deal?
And then the Cardinals are so bad that the projected number 1 pick in the draft's dad's like, yeah, we'll stay another year in college if it's them picking at 1.
Oh, I want them to win a few games because they're trying so hard to tank.
Oh,
Serve
it's
them
so
right.
bad.
Just miraculously fumble, they pick it up, run it in, and they end up winning like 6 games.
Jonathan Gannon's still not reviewing who is starting quarterback. Yeah, I told our very own John Gambadora yesterday from our sister station in Phoenix, like, they want to maintain a competitive edge.
Yes, he's the master of that.
Yeah.
I know he's a new coach, but boy, he has mastered that.
Also admitted that the reason why they lost the Super Bowl last year, because he was the DC in Philly, obviously was his fault. I was like, I don't know. I appreciate you trying to take some of that, but also that offense the Chiefs had had something to do with that. It wasn't all you, Jonathan. Yeah.
Give them some credit. Talking about a bad 49ers start to the season. The last 2 years, they haven't gotten off to great starts. In fact, 2 years ago, they got off to such a slow start that there was talk that, boy, if this keeps up, they're going to end up benching Garoppolo and let Trey Lance play so he can develop.
Right.
Not last year, but the year before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
yeah.
That
and then they turned it around, of course, and they ended up blowing a lead in the fourth quarter of the NFC title game. But it was hanging in the balance there.
Yeah.
Last year, another bad start. We had Chris Biederman on this week on this show, and he was, I was asking about that. It's like, yeah, we always talk about the importance of a quick start, but do they need one? Because the last 2 years they started slow. They still went to the conference title game. And he says, yeah, because they're playing all those playoff games on the road the last 2 years because they get off to these bad starts.
Right. And I get it. A couple years ago, you're playing the NFC title game in LA, which, like, no joke, was Levi South. Like, how pathetic was that from a Ram standpoint that entire situation was red?
Mm-hmm.
But then, you go back to how much different, and obviously, and I'm taking the injury out of this, though. How much different is the narrative if they're playing the Eagles at Levi as opposed to going to a very rough place to play, especially in January?
Yeah.
In Philadelphia? I think it's a completely different narrative. And Chris is right. No, they have to get off on a hot start. They need to get that number 1 seed this year. I think they're positioned to do so, but you can't start off this year like you've done you can't go 4-4 and then just have a late season burst. Like that can't be a thing.
And that was another reason why they were all so happy yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I feel like had Bosa held out for a long amount of time, again, had Bosa, I still feel like they may lose on Sunday just because, and I don't know if that's just that like fan built-in negativity in me, or it's just
got a little Chris Watkins in you.
A little bit, a little wet blanket action here, but it's also, dude, that's a really rough place to play.
Yes.
It's week 1, so not everyone is clicking on all cylinders. We know that going in, and that is a great defense you're playing in Pittsburgh with a mastermind of a coach in Mike Tomlin. But to your point, it definitely got a boost of, okay, we have a potential to have a hot start.
Chat comment of the day nominee here from Dave W. Moody, 64-yarder to win the Super Bowl.
Love it. Love that for Jake Moody. Love that for you. Great prediction.
Thanks, Dave W. Coming up next, time to bust out some hardware in the Bold Kings prediction of the day. Next, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it, this place is absolutely nuts.
Listen to every game on the home of the Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
The best cowboys and cowgirls in the country are coming to Marysville.
It must be rodeo time.
They're all coming for the Marysville Stampede PRCA Rodeo.
And we should be there too.
It's Saturday and Sunday, September 16th and 17th at Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville.
Have they raised their prices?
No. Online tickets are good for Saturday or Sunday. Just $20 for adults and $10 for kids 4 to 12. The Marysville Stampede, Saturday, September 16th and 17th. Tickets on sale now at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindown. The 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The NFL opens up tonight with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end, Travis Kelce. He hyperextended his knee in practice this week. The team has listed him questionable for tonight. You can listen to the game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with star defensive end Nick Bosa yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Wish to give us a call or send us a text here. Whitey, J. Mars, we have this today from the 916. The only thing I ask if you're going to text us, put your name on it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I ask.
Don't be scared.
Yeah. So we can give you credit.
That's why we want it.
Yeah. Is John Gannon related to Rich Gannon? No, he's not. And apparently they don't even really know each other. They have no relationship.
Interesting. You would have thought the Gannons, given that they're both NFL guys,
right?
Not a common last name, would have got together and, teamed up.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Manning cast and the Gannon cast.
Yes. Not related, not acquainted.
Very interesting. Rich still calling games for CBS, right?
I hope so. He was doing Raider pregame. In fact, I forget the play-by-play, but I was watching one of the Raider pregames, and he was doing color with Matt Millen. Of course, Matt Millen has
great
been
Matt
around.
Millen.
Yes, and I thought, man, these are two pretty good analysts for a freaking preseason game.
Also, loved Matt's drafting in Detroit. So good.
You know what?
I went there. Sorry, I had to do it.
It's okay. We
Matter
actually
legend.
talked to him about that once during an interview, and he said the whole thing was, he goes, yeah, I know how it looks. He says, we drafted Joey Harrington, and he says, we thought he was the guy, and if he had been good, it would have all worked. And he
That's
said,
true.
He says it didn't work.
No.
But he was not the guy we thought he was when we drafted him. But he said it would have all worked if Joey Harrington had been the guy we hoped he'd be.
Think Vlade said the same thing about Yorgos Papagiannis. Thought I heard that somewhere.
I won't stand for the Matt Millen blasphemy here.
I wasn't blasting Matt Millen. I was blasting Vlade.
Oh, okay.
You're not standing for that either?
No.
Also,
but
Rich Gannon, one of the more random NFL MVPs of all time.
Yeah, but you can't really argue with it. You look
No,
at
maybe
it,
he was
sure,
amazing. 2002 is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. Time for our bold Kings predictions of the day. Can we fit in a little basketball today? By the way, I'm sorry, Chris Ferlotta. I believe Luka and Slovenia lost the 5th place game or whatever it was today.
Call the ambulance.
Slovenia beating them in I think it was the 5th place game.
Yeah, no. So does that make, I think they're now they share 8th or 7th, them being Slovenia.
Well, wouldn't you be, if you lose a 5th place game, aren't you 6th?
No, because I think there's I think it's 7th. I think it's tied for 7th.
Obviously.
Yeah. Either way, Luka losing in the playoffs, not exactly uncommon for him, is it?
Whoa. Wow. You're just.
It was uncommon last season. He didn't even make it.
That's true. Good point.
Man, I feel like I got to get out of the way here.
Why?
I'm going to catch some stray bullets. You're taking shots at everybody.
No, I'm not.
Hey, there's Matt Millen. Flade. Luka.
Okay, the Luka ones deserved it at least, right?
Maybe
that's true. But you know what?
I don't want to catch a stray.
No, you won't catch a stray. I promise.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it's coming.
All right.
I'll telegraph it.
Well, here's what's coming. Bold Kings predictions of the day, or prediction. You are not obligated, especially as a guest, to have one.
Oh, I got one.
You do?
Of course.
Great. Would you like to go first
No.
as a guest? Or okay. I have the name of a king will be added to this list. Do you know what this list is? I'll give you the list if you see if you can tell what this list is. Lauri Markkanen, Ja Morant, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Pascal Siakam, Victor Oladipo, Giannis, CJ McCollum, Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Paul George, Ryan Anderson, Kevin Love, Aaron Brooks, Danny Granger. Do you know what that list is?
I have not the first clue.
Okay. Keegan Murray will be the most recent player on that list of the NBA's most improved player award winner.
Nice. I like that bold prediction. I like that a lot because it seems like the NBA most improved player award has kind of lost what it should be. But I feel like Keegan's going to take a nice statistical jump this year from what he did last year. And I agree. I think that's a great bold prediction.
Especially with your earlier prediction of Keegan Murray will average 20 points a game.
How about that? Look at that.
And I think, by the way, if Keegan, I'll say this. Let me tie a bow on your bold predictions. Keegan Murray averages 20 plus points a game. He wins that award. So I think you're 100% correct.
I still don't know how Ja won most improved player 2 years ago, but he did.
Well, he improved.
Yeah.
And like a lot, but it's like those guys, and that's what I mean by loses the essence of the award of the award. Like the Giannis's and the Jaws shouldn't be like noted for their improvement. Like what happened back in the day when the award went to a guy like Kevin Duckworth or Purvis Ellison? Like those are the guys.
Aaron Brooks. Yeah.
Yes.
Danny Granger.
Yes. Yeah. Those are the guys. It's for those guys. And I don't know what the label is for those guys, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Do you remember this? The NBA used to have a comeback player of the year award, and it's basically the same thing, but they changed the name of it because I believe, if I remember correctly,
they got rid of the award.
Well, they just changed it to most improved because they found that so often they were giving it to somebody who was coming out of drug rehab.
Yes.
It became kind of embarrassing.
Because it was Bernard King won it. After that, I believe Michael Ray Richardson had won it. And to your point, yeah, they were coming back from not playing because they were hit with drug suspensions.
And it was like, here's the award that reminds everyone that we have a league-wide drug problem.
Yeah. I think David Stern that's one of the first things he got a hold of as commissioner was like, no, we're not doing this.
No, how about no?
I think that award has like only 5 or 6 total winners because they got rid of it. Oh, Dantley was another one who won that award.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it's technically, I guess, different, but it basically is the same award, the most improved player.
I would have thought because of the issue that award had because of the perception, which was rightfully so, by the way, that would have actually morphed into the J. Walter Citizenship Award.
Yeah.
I have a bold prediction.
By the way, if Ben Simmons, if you had most improved player, he's not going to win it, but comeback, he would be like a leading candidate.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be for drug suspension, so it would actually be what it was supposed to be for.
Yes, J. Mars, you're up with your bold prediction of the day.
At the NBA trade deadline, the Sacramento Kings will make a significant roster move. So it's not a Walker Kessler level trade, or excuse me, Kessler Edwards. Damn it, I did it again.
That's all right. I mean, it works either way.
A legit, oh my gosh, this player is leaving our team for a player that is, oh my gosh, we got this player. I think this is the year at the deadline, if the Kings are really competing there, and by I mean competing is their top 4 in the West, that they make a big-time splash at the deadline.
You are not the first to make that prediction, I believe, Christopher Laud.
Yeah. That's what I was just about to say. Earlier this year, Chris happened to say that the Kings will make a huge trade before the trade deadline.
Yeah. I'm in there. I think that's going to be a thing this year. If they're really competing, yeah.
The fact that Chris said it first doesn't make your prediction any less bold.
I think it makes his less bold.
I think Christopher Laud's right. I think he's right. That's on me for not listening to the show every day, 10 to 2.
Yeah.
And me kind of, walking in and just taking content that wasn't mine and repurposing it for the sake of today.
But I will say your prediction of Davion Mitchell being a 40% three-point shooter might be one of the boldest of all of them.
I hope I'm around to talk about it when it happens.
I'm sure you will be. No, that's very interesting. And I believe, didn't Chris's prediction, wasn't it kind of linked to Harrison Barnes?
I think you guys came up with it at the same time. I think the same day you said that Sasha will average 14 points a game and the Kings will end up trading Harrison Barnes.
Okay. Well, I'll make mine. I'll differentiate mine from
No
Watkins
need.
in this.
No
No,
need.
because I do have something in mind, and
Okay.
it wasn't Barnes. And I hate to say this because I really like this guy, and I want to be very clear here. I'm not advocating for this to happen.
If you're thinking about no, you said significant. Never mind.
I think it'd be Kevin Huerter. I think Kevin Huerter would actually be the guy that's going to be very attractive to other teams this year that will bring you that guy. So it's not a knock on Huerter. It's actually, he's just going to be that attractive of a player to other teams that they'll pull off the deal.
And that will mean that you will have, whether it's Duarte or Davion or, of course, Monk, you will have enough production in the backcourt where you feel that Huerter is expendable.
Yeah, and it gets you what you think you need. There you go.
We talked yesterday about how, people blame Barnes for not making that shot against the Warriors. Now, costly that was. Huerter had a great season, but a terrible shooting series against the Warriors.
Isn't
it very costly?
Isn't it funny how people will remember just one certain thing instead of a body of work?
Right. Yeah. Because it was one shot right at the end of the game. It could have been a game winner. You remember that.
Yes.
Whereas, Huerter missing a lot of shots. It's like and the Warriors.
And by the way, it's not like
deserves credit for that.
And it's not like Barnes just hit the side of the backboard and it was a terrible shot. He got a good look. It could have gone. It just didn't go in.
I don't know that he should have shot it. I'm hesitating.
Wow. Are you Jordan pulling him right now?
Remember?
You're Jordan pulling him.
Because the way Draymond was defending and Harrison, it looked like he wanted that. Good for him. He wanted that shot.
Yeah, no, I wish, because I really like Harrison. I think he's one of the just genuinely good human beings in the NBA.
So is everyone who's ever
right,
been
and
in the same zip code as
that
him.
narrative of him from the 2016 finals, which well deserved. He was a no-show, man. I wanted him to get that off of his back because we've seen him in the regular season hit a couple game winners for the Kings. He can do it.
Hey, we have Factor Fantasy, the showdown coming up next. Upset alert in the Factor Fantasy showdown. Good luck to you, Jay. We've been friends. That ends for the next 20 minutes, and then we'll see.
The mega powers explode.
Whitey and Watkins with that next year, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. To Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Whether you're shopping for your favorite Honda online or in person, you'll see why Stockton Honda is the #1 Honda dealer in Northern California and why buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Visit in person or online at StocktonHonda.com, where your favorite Honda is ready for you.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, the search for pain relief can feel like an endless and hopeless ordeal.
I would try drugstore, insoles and supports.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked.
If you think you've tried everything to relieve your foot pain, you probably haven't tried arch supports from the Good Feet store.
And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I don't have foot pain anymore. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Summertime and Rivercats baseball are the perfect pairing. The only thing missing is you. With weekly promotions, premium giveaway games, and unique theme nights, there's fun for everyone at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
heading for a showdown.
Am I allowed to wear
Absolutely.
during the competition, Your Honor?
Yes. Right?
Oh, you're just going to answer for me?
No, but I thought we established this on Tuesday because you
We did.
That's all.
We did. I am allowed. I will allow it.
It'd be like the champion walking to the ring without his belt.
Huh. I wouldn't want that to happen. All right. Okay. So I got to actually, well, I shouldn't say this, a little bit of a borderline streak going.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yes.
What is this? What's this borderline streak? What is there a number attached to it?
I think it's around 3, but I don't. I don't keep track.
Well, we know you won
not
Friday.
4, not 5.
We know you won Friday. We know you won Tuesday. You won yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3. You're going for number 4 today.
At least.
In honor of Spud Webb. Love it.
But anyway, it is time for the Factor Fantasy Showdown. Yeah, that's right, because I have to remove the crown of superiority. As we all rise and honor, he enters the courtroom now, the Honorable Judge Verlaud. Hello, Your Honor.
You may be seated. Thank you, gentlemen. I
you, sir.
appreciate that.
Nice robe today, sir.
Oh, thank you. Once again, you're the best.
Is Nicole here today, too?
Yes. She'll be making an appearance shortly.
All right.
Okay, so first question for you, Whitey.
Yes, sir.
The biggest NFL upset of Week 1 will be the Lions over the Chiefs tonight. Fact or fantasy?
That is fantasy, Your Honor. It's science fiction. There's no way that's going to happen, as you well know, if it pleases the court, and even if it doesn't. The Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, 40-9 at home. And so the Lions, they got the coach. He's crazy. I don't think that's going to cut it. The biggest upset of the weekend, there's some juicy ones. I have a real resentment building up for these Eagles and how great the Eagles were. And I think even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, there is still a Super Bowl hangover for teams that get there. It's going to bite them this week. And the Eagles will be upset Week 1 by Mac Jones and the Patriots in New England.
I'm also going to say it's fantasy. It doesn't matter who plays on the Chiefs offense. As long as Patrick Mahomes is there, he will throw as many touchdowns as he needs to get a victory tonight over the Lions. Whitey, Travis Kelce can go on the IR for the season. And Andy Reid could call you or me up and be like, all right, guys, you're the new tight end, and Patrick's going to get the ball to you. And you got to score. We would do that. We would be the greatest tight ends in NFL history. Why? Because Patrick Mahomes is, I think, about a season or 2 away from being the greatest quarterback in NFL history. And what do great quarterbacks do? They will their team to a win. So the Chiefs will beat the Lions tonight. I don't think that's an issue. As far as the biggest upset of the weekend, you might not think of it as an upset, but it is, even though they're at home. The Jets. They have all of this pressure on them, I think, after Hard Knocks. Everybody's expecting them to perform, but they have their division rival, the Bills, coming in. The Bills, I think, should easily wax the Jets. They are better. But you know what? Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers, knowing this team needs a victory in Week 1, and again, even if it's a home game, they will upset the Bills on Monday Night Football.
You guys make excellent points. Of course, it's not going to be an upset tonight because the Kansas City Chiefs have the greatest athlete of all time. Jay, you get the point because you didn't pick a New England team to win. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, this next question is going to be for you, Jay. After amassing a league best 18.5 sacks last year, Nick Bosa will have to settle for no more than 15 this year. Fact or fantasy?
That's a fact.
That's the fact. Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that, Nick Bosa's coming in and he wasn't there during OTAs or workouts or preseason or anything, right? It's simply that this 49ers defensive line is so disgusting that you can't go single coverage on Nick Bosa. You have to double cover somebody on that line. Nick Bosa is going to be double covered, which will bring the sack amount down, but it will be made up by the amount of sacks that Drake Jackson, Eric Armstead, and Javon Hargrave get just because Bosa will be double teamed. So while he loses out on a number, it will be made up elsewhere.
After amassing a league best 18.5 sacks last year, Nick Bosa will have to settle for no more than 15 this year. That's a fantasy. 18.5 for Nick Bosa last year. In only 16 games, he missed a game this year. presuming that he does play in the first game, he's going to get a chance to play in 17 games. The 49ers with Hargrave up front are going to be even more powerful defensively. He'll have more opportunities. He's got a lot to prove, having just signed that huge deal. A motivated Nick Bosa on a team that could be the best defense in football this year, a more aggressive defense with a new defensive coordinator. He's going to at least match last year's, might even top it. You can't underestimate the great Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa is great. Highest paid defensive player of all time. Why do you get the point? He's going over that. Come on.
Come on.
Jay, why are you so scared?
Come on. Now you're taking shots at Nick Bosa.
I'm not scared. He's just a great team player, and he's going to let other guys get sacks too.
We know that Jay likes to take shots at people's food, so this will be interesting for him on the next one. But Whitey, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
The best food to eat while watching football was, and will always be pizza. Fact or fantasy?
It's a fantasy, Your Honor. And there's nothing wrong with pizza. Pizza's a fine food, but it's not the food to watch while eating football. That, of course, would be Fire Wings from
Fire Wings from Fire Wings?
Fire Wings from Fire Wings, yeah. Buffalo Wings from Fire Wings, 21 delicious flavors. Give them a call right now. Proud sponsors of your Sactown Sports. We're pleased at every opportunity to mention how much we appreciate that. Fire Wings is the way to go tonight and every game this season.
The best food to eat while watching football was, and always will be pizza. That is a fact.
That's the fact, Jack.
As much as I love the wing, and I'm a big proponent of the wing is always the side to the pizza. It's not wings and pizza. It's pizza and wings, because pizza sits atop as the king of the football. Just whenever
what was that shape you just made?
That was a pizza box, but a really big one. Okay,
Oh,
it's
it's
just
a food
different.
pyramid.
Yeah, it's the food pyramid pizza box, and that's what I made, and that should get me extra points because it was so good. No, but seriously, like any single time, it doesn't matter if you're doing a 10 a.m. game, pizza works. If you're doing the 6 a.m. international game, pizza works. Cold pizza even works. Of course, afternoons, nights, I don't have to sit there and make a case for pizza. It's not wings. That's the secondary option to the pizza.
You don't even like flats.
Yes, because I'm normal.
Okay. Enough.
The bailiff weighing in there.
Coming in here. I got to say, you guys made excellent points. This is the final question, and this is going to be for all the marbles. Jay, you just described why pizza is fantastic, but pizza always feels like, hey, what should we order? I want this. Everyone, let's just grab a pizza because I'm tired of fighting. But Whitey, wings specifically from Fire Wings? That's a meal. That's fantastic. I want it each week of the season. Whitey, you get the point and the win. The streak continues.
Oh,
May I
Your
just
Honor.
make an objection real quick?
I don't know.
You are giving the man points for shilling for a Carmichael Dave sponsor.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because
Okay.
we're hoping it's going to trickle down to us.
You know what? I knew I had it when the judge said to you, what was that shape you just
Yeah, I knew
made?
that I was screwed.
Like, wow.
I really tried to get that one going, but yeah, I knew I was done then.
Well played. Thank you. Your Honor, bailiff, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, jury.
And you the bailiff
I'm honored.
coming in with the flats thing. That to me,
That didn't
by
help
the
you.
way,
That did not help
if
you.
you're ordering wings, it's
Order the flats.
no. And you had the
Pay the
worst.
upcharge.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely
flats are
not.
like 2 wings in one.
No,
So
they're not. They
delicious.
have the least amount of meat.
And they have all of that delicious crispy skin. My goodness.
Anyway, coming up next, tell you how
You know,
Brock.
I'm never playing this game again.
Empty promises. Brock Purdy, tell you how he can. And I say will make NFL history in Pittsburgh this Sunday. Next, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
And Watkins.
on Sactown Sports. Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Celebrate the crowning of the NTT IndyCar Series champion at the season finale Firestone Grand Prix of Monterey at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, September 8th through 10th. International athletes hitting 180 miles per hour as they roar by. Experience autograph sessions, Ferris wheel, go-karts, and delicious Monterey cuisine. And don't miss IndyCars descending the famous corkscrew at astounding speed and accuracy. Tickets are on sale now at WeatherTechRaceway.com. Don't miss IndyCar racing and the season finale, September 8th through 10th. It's the fastest action in America.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Innovation Refunds has been helping small businesses that qualify to get a business payroll tax refund through the Employee Retention Credit, or also known as the ERC. The ERC is a tax refund for businesses that kept employees on payroll for parts of 2020 and 2021. If you own a business with more than 5 employees, you could have money waiting to be claimed. The ERC tax filing is complex. Innovation Refunds is dedicated to helping business owners navigate the process. Innovation Refunds independent tax attorneys can help your business's claims stay compliant with IRS regulations and guidelines. They understand the importance of your information and have industry standard certifications to back it up. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google. They're also accredited with the Better Business Bureau. Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. They work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply. Go to innovationrefunds.com to determine eligibility. If you qualify, you could be on your way to receiving money for your business. There's no upfront charge. They don't get paid unless you get paid. Go to innovationrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NFL kicks off tonight. The Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City, though, might be without their star tight end, Travis Kelce. He hyperextended his knee in practice this week, and the team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to the game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with their star defensive end, Nick Bosa, yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday. September 9th, kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
I'm going to tell you how Brock Purdy can, and I would say will, make history this Sunday against the Steelers. Before we get to that, Jamar's in today for Chris Watkins. Watkins will be along this afternoon at 2. Jamar's coming up just short today.
I know.
A really, really hard-fought edition of Factor Fantasy Showdown. On the YouTube chat, Pike916. Jamar's just took his ball and went home.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You're really never going to play again?
No, I'm never playing this game again. It's rigged.
Dwayne Baker says talking and running people down the whole way.
Yes, absolutely.
Running people down the whole way.
I'll be tweeting about this later or Xing, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to have a whole Instagram story about it. Like, oh, yeah, no.
All right.
I am going to
I wish you weren't a
burn.
liar.
I'm going to burn Factor Fantasy to the ground. I'm saying it now.
Campio asking, Whitey, is that the same helmet Carmichael Dave had on his head this morning?
Ew.
I wish you had not said that. Even if it's not true, you put that in my head.
That's just.
I wish that had not been
Everything
said.
you do turns to poop.
I feel like Chris is here.
Yeah, no, I think we've actually heard from Chris more than me today. You know, I never thought that Chris Watkins of everybody would be the walking soundbite, right?
Not at all.
Like, it just never had that vibe to him. And it's just like, dude, every best soundbite on the station is something with Chris Watkins.
I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
My bad.
He's got way more of it than anybody else.
I know. It's great. I'm here for it.
So don't miss Chris today, too. With at least 2 touchdown passes and a victory over the Steelers, Brock Purdy, you familiar?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Brock Purdy would become the first quarterback in NFL history to win each of his first 6 regular season starts and throw at least 2 touchdown passes in each start. Is that a thing?
I think that will happen.
Yeah. But I mean, is that a thing, or is that like such a random collection of numbers that
it's a random collection of numbers, but when it's your guy, you're here for it, right? When it's your guy and it's your quarterback on your team, like, it's no longer a random collection of numbers. It's like, no, that speaks to the greatness of Brock Purdy.
And I think they're significant. Yeah. First to win each of his first 6 career regular season starts and throw 2 touchdown passes in each start.
You know why? Because that means he was actually a part of the wins. That means he was actually a significant contributor on said wins.
I think, and I believe I said this yesterday, I think Brock Purdy is going to have at times this year some issues throwing the ball to the wrong team. I think it's in his history. If you go back to him in college, I think last year he got fortunate. He had a long streak with no interceptions. And then there were some plays that one play against Tampa Bay where it was intercepted, but there was a penalty. It was called back. One play against the Seahawks where it was intercepted, but the defender dropped the ball. I think it's in his history. He's going to have some issues with it, but I think it's okay. I think the 49ers know that. I just think he's going to appear to regress a little bit in that this year. And I think it's going to drive some fans crazy, especially fans that are still wondering, why isn't Trey Lance playing?
Why isn't Sam
But I think it's
Darnold
gonna be
playing?
okay. Yeah.
Why'd they get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? No, I agree with you. And I think
he likes to try to take shots.
He does. He likes to take shots, number one. But the other side of that, too, is this is an offense where you got to make quick decisions. So when you like to take
Great
shots
point.
and you make quick decisions, interceptions happen. That's just going to be a thing. But I think we'll be able to live with them because I think the good with Brock Purdy will outweigh the bad.
I do too.
With Brock Purdy. And I think that's where they need to have their heads at. And, oh, by the way, he's going into his 6th start. Like, this is not a veteran quarterback. He's in some ways, he's essentially a rookie quarterback, right? This is his first full season. That's another contributing factor. The kid still has a lot to learn in the NFL game.
Purdy can also add his name to the record books it's a little wonkier, but it's something. He could become the first quarterback in NFL history with a passer rating of 95 or higher in each of his first 6 career regular season starts.
I think that's kind of right there at the 2 touchdown thing, right? It's like we're looking for stats. And again, but because he's our guy, it's like, dude, that's amazing. Who else? Like Tom Brady never did that. Brett Favre never did that. Aaron Rodgers never did that. Warren Moon never did that. It was Brock Purdy. Yes. So no, we stand for these stats.
Do you think Kyle looks at that like he's going to spend time looking at that? Like, if he did, you think he's not going to say anything, but he's going, yeah, that's my system.
100% yes. And which is why I think he'll never tell us that he looks at these things. But Kyle Shanahan, as you've seen, is a very prideful man. You know what I mean? And he knows all eyes are on him with this Brock Purdy decision. You better bet every red cent that you have that Kyle Shanahan has seen these stats and really wants Brock Purdy to be that guy. 100% he's paying attention to that.
Did you hear the story Shanahan told? I believe it was last week. And it might have been the Tampa Bay game. There was a play where, I think it was a Tampa Bay game, and Brock Purdy starts the game with an audible, and it was a wrong audible. It was a bad audible, and he gets destroyed. And it's not the play that he got hurt on, but I think he throws an incompletion or he got sacked, and he really gets leveled. And Shanahan is screaming at him through the helmet. What are you doing? Not realizing that he's like trying to make sure he's still in one piece.
Right. Yeah, that he's still alive.
It was such a bad, it's like, why? No.
Well, the thing too about that is you don't call audibles in the first 15 plays on Kyle Shanahan. The first 15 plays, if you don't know this, are scripted to a T. How dare this rookie quarterback, this 7th-round pick, call an audible during my scripted play? I can see why Kyle Shanahan and his ego did not care that Brock Purdy might be dead.
Yeah.
He's going to let him know before he takes his last breath, that's the wrong play, sir.
I remember Kurt Warner one time was saying that I asked him, I said, okay, what do you think? This is when we thought Trey Lance would be the starter.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing that Jimmy does that you would want, if you're the 49ers, want Trey Lance to have, one quality or trait, what would it be? And Kurt Warner said, oh, that's easy. He says, Jimmy makes a bad play and forgets about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He forgets about it. And he's on to the next play. And I think Brock Purdy is showing that he has that ability too. We haven't seen him make a lot of bad plays, but that's perhaps an example where he makes a terrible decision to start the game and has a coach screaming at him in the first play. And I think he's like, yeah, okay, I know what out there. I'm good.
My bad, coach.
Yeah.
He almost takes it like his dad's yelling at him, but he's also the teenager. Like, whatever.
Yes, I
gotta
think
go
so.
do this
I
still.
think you have to be that way to play for Kyle Shanahan.
But you've seen it, and it's not just that. Like, we've seen it in interviews when he talks, and you've heard other players on the 49ers talk about it. He has a moxie to him. After taking over for Garoppolo last year, I think it was Trent Williams was talking about it, how, dude, Brock Purdy's out there yelling at veteran players, and he's played basically one NFL game, but he's out there getting on veterans if they're not doing something correctly. And that's just goes to show he's kind of a natural born leader.
Mm-hmm.
But you could also say that about Garoppolo. And I think this ties into the idea of, hey man, flush it after a bad play, move on to the next one. It's when you have that type of mentality and that natural leadership, guys pick up on that. And I think guys picked up on that last year. And I think that's another reason why Brock Purdy was so successful. I think he earned the trust of the locker room pretty quickly.
Yep, I think so. There's a story. Somebody was walking behind Trent Williams and somebody last year before Purdy's first start. And maybe it was a reporter and the players were talking like, I can't wait to see this guy start.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, if they're looking at him that way,
Mhm.
he's got something. As far as tonight's game goes, Patrick Mahomes, the great Patrick Mahomes against some saying that Goff is just as good as Mahomes. No,
He's an elite quarterback,
don't
I've
say
heard.
that, but does Patrick Mahomes remind you of anyone previous?
No. I think Patrick Mahomes is one of a kind. I think, if anything, everyone's now trying to replicate Patrick Mahomes. Like, there's no, and when you say it's it's the movement, it's the gun on him. I think the closest comp I could make, Steve Young. Because Steve Young could move. I think, Steve Young was one of the original mobile quarterbacks, in my opinion. But Steve could get the ball downfield. And he obviously, like Mahomes, had a lot of great, receivers to work with. But that's not an exact comp by any stretch. Again,
Right, I got
far
you.
from
Yeah,
apples to
I
apples.
agree with you.
People say he was less than a god, but more than a man.
It's true. Steve himself has said that. Just ask him. But it's just the idea of the mobility, being able to get out and move, but also just always makes the right play and can just get the ball down the field like no other. Hey, Steve, maybe.
You know who he reminds me of a little bit? All the caveats that you just supplied, I'm with them. I'm not saying this guy is as good. He's a Hall of Famer, like Steve Young. Not the same, but just to be honest, Mahomes reminds me a little bit of this guy. This guy did not have the touch, did not have the success. He did have some of the success, but John Elway.
Really?
Yes. With the arm. And I think some of it is, Elway was a baseball player and some of the different throws that Mahomes makes because he was a baseball player.
And his pop was an MLBer.
And he was, yeah. And, Elway could run the ball when he needed to. Late model, Elway had more success. But that's just my honest, as I watched Mahomes, I realized he reminds me of something. Oh, Elway is the one.
That's interesting. I've never heard the Elway comp, but when you talk about, those strange passes that he can make, which is just, it's very unique to Patrick Mahomes, as are many of his attributes.
He wasn't nearly as gifted as a passer, but he was as a thrower. He certainly was.
No, it's actually an interesting. Yeah, that's actually an interesting comparison. And Patrick Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls. Elway had 2.
Yeah.
Dare I say, I think Mahomes ends with more Super Bowls than Elway, though.
I think you're right. I wouldn't disagree with that. I've disagreed with you a few times today, but I certainly wouldn't disagree.
There were really
with
good
that.
disagreements, though.
Yeah. Now, do we agree on the outcome of the game tonight, or do you think it's going to be a close game?
I don't think it's going to be a close game. I'm hoping for a close game. I think the Chiefs handle them pretty well, even if Kelsey doesn't play tonight. I just think I like the Lions. The Lions will be able to put up some points tonight, but in the end, it's just going to be. I think it'll be more of a shootout. But I think the Chiefs win it pretty easily.
Yeah, maybe the Lions stay with them for a while, but ultimately it's like a basketball game
separation.
where it was a 5-point game there and late in the third quarter, and then
Although I think it'll be more like early second half that the Chiefs pull away.
Mm-hmm. Does Brock Purdy remind you of any quarterback you've seen before? I honestly can't say that he does.
It's really hard.
I don't have that sense of him yet.
Yeah, no, and also you have to factor in it's like the late round pick. That's always going to be a factor, I guess. And again,
if you had to say a 49er quarterback of the past, you have to pick one.
Jeff Garcia.
Yeah,
just because they're both
Took
undersized. They're both undersized. And if you're obviously a 49er fan, when you talk about the size thing, you hope he turns into Drew Brees. I don't think he will, but you know, Drew was an undersized guy, and that hung with him for a lot of his career. And Brock's 6'1"?
Drew is just so incredibly accurate.
I know, it's amazing.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock doesn't have that accuracy. No. But most quarterbacks don't either.
Right. Up next, what do the NFC and Brandon Ayuk have in common? They're both going to be wide open this season.
Whoa!
Right back with that next. Whitey and Watkins with J Mars today on Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life and your choices with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age, but there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your fit. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Got an interesting text here. Text of the day nominee. It would be, except you didn't put your name on it, so it's not eligible. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it, though, from the 707. 707, by the way, did you know is the seat of all knowledge and wisdom? Because I'm from Vallejo. You got Vallejo, Napa, and then other Petaluma. I don't know. Anyway, 707, seat of all knowledge.
Where can I confirm that?
I just confirmed it for you.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah.
So if I wanted to reference,
Hashtag confirmed.
Second reference that. Judge, can we get on that? Please get a ruling on that.
Hashtag confirmed. From the 707, Mahomes is what John Elway would have been if he played for Bill Walsh.
Oh, you mean John in the West Coast offense?
I love that.
Interesting. Switch Montana over to Denver and Elway over to San Francisco. Which one wins more Super Bowls?
I don't know.
Some good
Joe
Broncos teams,
well.
and Joe, you know, Joe's pretty decent. That's interesting. I've never thought of it that way. That's an interesting comp.
Yeah,
I like
John
that.
Elway was he was a gunslinger, and then late model. It's kind of like late model Elway was like, and he's not that good anymore. Yeah, but he won back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, no,
Rode out on that.
Terrell Davis guy. I remember that was pretty good with him too.
And that offense was basically the Kyle Shanahan offense.
Yeah, no, that was the Mike Shanahan era.
Yes.
Yeah.
The beginning of the outside zone.
Yeah, Kyle learned from Date.
Yeah, so you had basically John Elway winning Super Bowls as a system quarterback.
Yes. Dare you say a Shanahan quarterback.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So So what you're saying is if Brock Purdy is John Elway, we're fine.
That's all he has to be.
All right, no
Late
problem.
model.
Easy.
Isn't it funny? Like the last Super Bowl that Peyton Manning won, he was no
Couldn't
good.
even- he couldn't
but he's
even
like, he
play
still won a
barely.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah, but he got a ring, right?
All you have to do is beat out Brock Osweiler.
I love that whole narrative. Yeah, man, Peyton let him do a Super Bowl. I'm like, did he? Or did the defense lead him
Stayed
to
out
a
of the way
Super-
enough
Yeah.
to win another Super Bowl.
No, hey, shout out to him, though, for being, arguably one of the greatest, not even arguably, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to recognize, like, yeah, okay, so if I do less, we win. Cool. I can put my ego to the side to get another ring.
Don't you think ultimately that's the biggest surprise about Brady? Because he had a great year even last year, but late model Peyton Manning, he had his, I think he had a thigh thing that was bothering him late.
The back,
He had
right?
The neck
I'm sorry, the neck.
surgery. And Brady was just, other than that one injury where he got hit low and they changed the rules to make sure it wouldn't happen again,
Mhm.
he was just so healthy for so long.
Well, it's the TB12 system. I didn't know if you knew about it. It's 12 hours of sleep a day. It's, I think he eats an exact calorie amount. Had Peyton.
He lost me at avocado ice cream, by the way.
I still don't think that's real. I don't think that's.
I think it's real. I just don't want it.
Yeah,
I really don't want any of it.
You gotta
Chris Watkins wouldn't stand for that. Yeah, thank you. He just shook it off. Yeah.
I feel like in order to adopt that style of eating, you just have to somehow train yourself to hate food. I'm doing this because I have to. You have to train yourself mentally to hate.
You mean
food.
I have to fuel up here?
Yes, this is just fuel. I'm not going to enjoy this. It's just good for me. You have to and that I could never do that.
It's
I
tough.
could never do that.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, so we've got the Lions tonight. The Lions, who some NFL executives are saying they could be one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. That's right, one of the top 3 teams in the NFC. We have executives polled by The Athletic, and they've come up with the NFC rankings today. They got the Eagles number 1. They got the 49ers second. Somehow the Detroit Lions finished third in this poll of 6 NFL executives. Then it goes Cowboys, Seahawks, Saints, Giants, Vikings, Commanders, Panthers. I think the lesson out of this is A, wow, the Lions, and B, man, it's pretty wide open in the NFC this year once you get past the first 2 teams.
Yeah, and I'm guessing maybe the Cowboys, why they're ranked lower than the Lions, is strictly division. Because I think the Cowboys are a much better team than the Lions, but the Cowboys also have the Commanders, Eagles, and Giants. And because I think the Commanders they'll give some teams some problems this year, but more so the Eagles and Giants in their division. When you look at the NFC North, the Bears are the Bears unless Justin Fields comes out and has this dark horse MVP season that some people are trying to allude to. I think Jordan Love and the Packers, that's going to be an adventure this year. I clearly, sorry, Chris, don't think the Vikings will be as successful this year as they were last year.
Whoa, again, taking shots at everybody today.
And then, so yeah, I guess the Lions, but then then there's the NFC South, and it's just there's a really good chance at just like last year that the winner of that division wins with a losing record as Tampa last year.
Here's what one of these execs says about the Cowboys to the point you made. Quote, that division is, we probably talks like that. That division is really good for whatever reason. They can never seem to get over the hump, so there's a lot of pressure, and that window is shrinking. The heat is on.
I think that's actually a great way to look at it. That's actually a well-done analysis.
Another executive said, Dallas is going to play good defense. You know that. If you keep Dak's pass attempts down, you've got a shot.
Which executive was that?
I'm not at liberty. This was all anonymous.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the NFC really does suck. We can say that. We all feel comfortable in saying that, right? Outside of the Eagles and the
Does it
Niners.
suck or just weaker, a lot weaker than the
It
AFC?
sucks. It's a bad conference. Again, the Niners, Super Bowl contenders. The Eagles, Super Bowl contenders. Dallas, maybe. But again, I think their own drama will eat them alive. Even if the Lions were the 3rd best team in the NFC, is anybody calling the Lions Super Bowl contenders?
No, the Lions will be in the playoffs this year, but a big part of that will be the fact that there are so many other teams in the conference that are.
So can I get a judgment on this? If your conference only has 2 teams that you can say, I can see them in the Super Bowl, your conference sucks.
Well, not necessarily. It could mean those 2 teams are really, really good because somebody has to go from the conference.
Right. But they can be really, somebody has to go from the conference, and those 2 teams are really, really good. But it's the idea that the next 3, the 3, 4, and 5 teams are nowhere near them. Again, maybe Dallas. But after that, nobody on that list in the top 10 that you just read, you're going to make a case hey, you know what? Come playoff time, I think that team can really give the Niners, the Eagles a run for their money. There's nobody there.
I think there's a good chance we end up with a team in the playoffs like the Saints that will have put up, because of weaker competition, a really good record, and then they'll run into somebody at one of the better teams and they'll get destroyed.
That's what happened to the Vikings last year in the playoffs. Like, legitimately.
Why do you keep going after?
It's factual. No, I made him leave. He's pretty angry now.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, no, that is what happened to the Vikings. They went into the playoffs when everybody was questioning, like, I don't know.
Are they for real or are they frauds?
Yeah. Boy, were they hit with the fraud label after the playoffs, weren't they?
Here's what one of these execs says about the 49ers. I'm running out of voices here, but I'll do what I can. I do have concerns about them, but then I look at the NFC and I think, who would I feel good saying is better than them? that was like Barney Rock.
I was going to say, you took the words right out of my head. Fred, the 49ers, right?
And another executive says, San Francisco is my choice at 2 because they are healthy. Sounds like Purdy is healthy, and they still have the best play caller in the conference. They're going to be hard to defend defensively. They do not have great depth, so they can't suffer injuries, but they can still get pressure with 4 when they're healthy. Anonymous NFC executive.
I feel like that's a fair statement, other than the 49ers are healthy. Well, it's week 1. Like, they could be unhealthy by week 4.
The 49ers traditionally are rarely healthy.
Right. There's a reason.
Rarely.
It's a reason why there was 14 quarterbacks in camp this year. You know, they literally made a new rule for the 49ers. You can carry a third QB on your roster. Why? Because they lost all of them last year. Yeah, no, this is a team that's always struggled with health. I think trying to predict that, well, they're healthy right now. Yes, it's week 1. But we already know, and by the way, this is pretty normal for NFL teams. Nobody stays healthy for 18 weeks. It's just not a thing. No. Like, who's the team that you're like, you know, everyone played all 17 games? Nobody. It's not a thing.
We've talked about the price that the 49ers will have to pay cap-wise for paying so much money to their best players. I think you could make the case that they're already paying for that in a way, and it's reflected in their relative lack of depth.
Yeah, no, it's 100%, especially when you look at the secondary. I don't think they have any money invested there. You know, they're hoping and praying that works out for them. The offensive line, to me, is the biggest concern, because we saw that in the preseason, man. If there's 1 or 2 injuries to that first string, and by the way, the first string outside of Trent Williams is,
I can scheme around that.
Yeah.
I'm Kyle Shanahan, and I can scheme around that.
Yeah, but Kyle, if you lose, let's say, your center and your right guard, can you scheme around that one? Because it sure didn't look like it in the preseason.
Well, I didn't show you anything in the preseason. I'm not going to show you anything in that, of course.
Why would you think I'm running plays in the preseason? Gosh.
But if they can't run the ball, then obviously everything they do is predicated on the ability to run the ball.
Yeah. And I think
it's kind of old school, as much as their offense, like, oh, it's the offense of the future. It's very old school football. Run first, set up the pass.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. And you've seen it. And that was another reason why I think you saw Kyle understand that Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't the guy, because especially in those starts last season and the season before, kind of those shaky starts, you would see it, is the 49ers would get down early in the game. So they'd have to abandon the run to go to the pass. They could never get back into a game with the pass. And one adjustment I think Kyle did really well last year is he realized that. It's like, again, traditionally, all right, we're down 10-0 early. We got to get back in by the arm. Jimmy's not that guy. We can't abandon the run game. And there were several instances where they got down early last year towards the mid and end of the season. And it's like, no, we're running. We're going to run the ball no matter what. And I think that's a smart move on his part.
Yeah. By the way, on the chat, Arthur Smith, 49ers got a huge lift signing Bosa early. Usually are slow starters, but just could change that with this boost and everybody healthy. I see at the start for a long time. And by the way, Arthur from Vacaville confirms the 707 seat of all knowledge
there it
and
is.
wisdom.
I just wanted a second opinion. I got it. Thank you, Arthur, for your contribution. And I did not know that about the 707, but now I do. I will spread the word of the 707 to others now.
I know that you've really enjoyed taking shots at everybody today. So you can take some shots at some of the most overpaid NBA players ever.
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for that?
I hate negativity, but I'll do it, I guess.
Next, J-Mar's in today on Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
We'll the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday looking bright and sunny. We'll have calm winds out of the southwest, and it feels like summer. Expect daytime highs to peak in the low 90s with overnight lows in the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $79. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Your 3-time defending Big Sky Conference champions, the Sacramento State Hornets, are back at Hornet Stadium this Saturday, September 9th. It's Kids Day with fun for the whole family. And stick around after the game with post-game fireworks. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. Don't miss any of the action this year as the Hornets swarm the Big Sky in search of a 4th straight Big Sky championship. Get your tickets now at hornetsports.com. That's hornetsports.com. Stingers up.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Get ready for a night with Cole Swindell. 2023 ACM Song of the Year winner hits Heart Health Park at Cal Expo in Sacramento, Saturday, September 9th for the CITP2 Fest. And Cole's bringing some friends like Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, Matt Stell, and more. Tickets start at $40 at CITPFest.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Well, finally, it's here. Week 1, the Raiders, Broncos from Denver. And this longtime rivalry, advantage Raiders as of late. They've won 6 straight against Denver. It'll be the debut of Jimmy Garoppolo. Also, the debut of Sean Payton, who was brought in to stabilize the Bronco team and revive the career of Russell Wilson. Game time Sunday, 1:25 from Denver. That's your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Did you hear about ACR Solar's free home battery special? Well, for a limited time, get a free LG Chem 10H home battery with a minimum purchase of 12 solar panels. Now, you'll own the system outright with no leasing involved. The offer includes 10-year parts and labor warranty for your added security and peace of mind. Take advantage of a 30% tax credit on your solar panel purchase, as the offer is limited to the first 100 customers only. Visit acrsolar.com to get the offer. The number 916-481-7200.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The NFL opens up tonight, and the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs will host the Detroit Lions. Kansas City might be without their star tight end, Travis Kelce. He hyperextended his knee in practice this week, and the team has listed him as questionable. You can listen to tonight's game with pregame at 4:30 and kickoff scheduled for 5:20 right here on Sactown Sports. The Niners finally came to terms with their star defensive end, Nick Bosa, yesterday, who signed an extension with the team for 5 years and $122.5 million guaranteed. The Niners' first game will be this Sunday when they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. You can listen to Sunday's game right here on Sactown Sports. Your Sacramento State Hornets kick off the 2023 football season this Saturday, September 9th. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stingers up. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
How about this on the YouTube chat from Russell? We were trying to find a comp for Brock Purdy. Romo, I'm telling you, Purdy is Romo. Late round, undrafted, elusive, etc.
Hope he's better in the playoffs than Romo was, because if it's the exact comp and he struggles in the playoffs, oh boy.
I don't know. Romo had a stronger arm than Brock Purdy did.
Yeah, Romo had a gun on him. But Purdy can get the ball downfield without much of an issue. Purdy has
if he mails it or something, or if he has someone
he has
walking.
a deceptively good arm.
It's not one of his strengths, and relatively speaking, by
better than Jimmy's
NFL standards, I don't know that I'd say, he's a strong-armed quarterback.
Well, when he throws a 50-yard bomb to Ayuk on a go route, you're going to change your tune.
Yeah, as long as Ayuk realizes he's going to have to go back 5 yards because he can only throw 45 yards. We actually saw that happen last year.
Yeah, but
how many times did he underthrow guys? And I'm not saying he's terrible, but it's hello.
But didn't you hear? It was the first week in training camp, he was overthrowing guys, and the 49ers were super happy about it. Super happy he was overthrowing guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem per se. I'm just saying that's where Russell, for me, the Purdy Romo thing breaks down.
Yeah, no, I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just, I don't think Purdy has a bad arm, but yeah, Romo does have a gun. But it's an interesting comp.
See, that's part of the issue with Purdy when he does get into trouble, which he didn't happen a lot last year. He likes to take shots, and he doesn't have the strongest arm.
Right.
So it's like, well, if you don't get it there, then it doesn't matter.
That does create a problem, I'm told.
Yeah, it's not ideal. But again, I still think he is the guy. I think he is the real deal.
No, he is. And I think he's going to be really good for the Niners this year. I think they made the right choice there. And it's a choice that, it bailed them out, didn't it?
Absolutely.
It
fell in their lap.
Such a fall in my lap moment, which I feel like they've had several of those over the last few seasons. But hey, that's a good one to have.
Mm-hmm. Most overpaid players of all time, according to Hoops Hype. Who do you got, J. Mars?
My most overpaid player of all time is one Gilbert Arenas.
Really?
Yeah. Would you like some
Agent Zero?
Agent Zero. Again, in his prime, pre-knee injury, was an amazing offensive player in Washington.
I have a list here from Hoops Hype, and it's based on the real value metric, and he's not on my list here. So
at the end of the 2007-2008 season, in the 2008 offseason, Gilbert Arenas signed a 6-year, $111 million contract to return to Washington. Remember, this is 2008. That is like max level money in the NBA. It's interesting that they decided to give him that contract, given that he played a grand total of 8 games the year before. The next season, the first season of that contract, he played 2 games, followed it up with a 32-game season. Then he had a 70-game season, followed by a 17-game season.
Your money's worth with a 70-game season.
He got paid for all 6 years because he got traded halfway through to Orlando, decided to pick him up, and then realized very quickly that, this isn't the same Gilbert, believe it or not. They amnestied him. For the folks that don't know what that was a clause after the 2011 lockout where each team, if you had a player on your team that you're like, wow, we're paying this guy way too much money, it's killing our cap, you could waive them with an amnesty clause. You had to pay them all the money, but they didn't count against the cap. So Gilbert collected all 6 years and $111 million. After signing that, he appeared in 104 total games from the time he signed that deal to the time his NBA career was over. Averaging 14.5 points on 40, where's field goal percentage? Thank you. 38% from the field, 31 from 3.
He was a guy that was maybe a little ahead of his time in that he liked to take long shots.
Yes.
When you weren't supposed to take as many long shots as you can now.
Yeah, it's the Steph Dame corollary, so to speak, where they have a green light.
He had range.
I feel like Gilbert in this day and age, to your point, would have had the green light to take those shots for sure.
Yes. And I also think there are some shows on TV, I don't know if they're still on, where you ever watch this, where people hire these guys to come build an aquarium for them, a customized aquarium. Have you ever seen those?
I haven't stumbled across that.
Crazy, like people have like race car themed aquariums. And anyway, I think Gilbert Arenas he might have been on one of those shows, and he has an aquarium with like sharks in it.
Because why not? Like, why not? You have all this money.
Different kind of cat.
Yeah. Do you enjoy his podcast?
I actually haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
But I have read things from it that are interesting.
It's really interesting, the cast of characters that are on there. Kenyon Martin's on there. The one that I was like,
Brandon Jennings was
the one to me though that was kind of like a fish out of water that's on there, and like
fish out of water, very good.
Thank you. And they always kind of go at him is Rashad McCants, Sacramento Kings legend.
King, I remember.
Yes,
yeah.
Rashad McCants, who played
North Carolina,
who was great at North Carolina, played 4 years in the NBA, only on his rookie deal. I think injuries really kind of took him out, but he also apparently had a bad attitude. People didn't like that, never played in the NBA after that, but he's on there as well. I was like, that's an interesting get. Former Keeping Up with the Kardashians star, Rashad McCants.
Yeah. Gilbert Arenas, if I'm not mistaken, the story he told anyway was he was going to be a free agent, and was it Washington or Denver that he was going to go to, and he couldn't decide where to go. So you know how he decided? He flipped a coin.
As we've gotten to know Gilbert Arenas over the years, like via his podcast and other media he's done, that makes all the sense in the world.
And that's from him. He's the one that told that story.
I don't think he's making that up. I think he was just, to your point, like, let's see.
According to
the
the real value metric, most overpaid players of all time. 10, Al Horford. 9, Chandler Parsons.
I get that one.
8, Nicolas Batum. Number 7, No, Dikembe Mutombo. Number 6, Kevin Love. Number 5, Juwan Howard.
Wow, that's a good one.
Number 4, Tyson Chandler. Number 3, Klay Thompson.
This is where you do your whole real value metric thing. Just throw it out there.
Right.
Yeah, it's such garbage.
2, Gordon Hayward. 1, John Wall.
I think a lot of those guys deserve to be on that list. I don't think Al Horford does. That's for sure. Chandler Parsons, absolutely.
Yeah, if you come up with this metric and then let's see what we got here, top 10. And if Klay Thompson's third, we got to refigure. It's wrong.
There's something wrong with the metric, because a lot of these metrics have multiple stats or whatever they put together, spit out these numbers.
Don't tweet this until we fix it. And then someone heard, tweet it? Okay. That's
exactly. Like Klay Thompson.
Don't tweet it.
Like every guy you're listing, like I said, I don't think Horford should be on there, but most of those guys are like, okay, I can see it. I think Tyson Chandler's another one that wasn't overpaid. I think he was paid properly.
I think their metric shows that even when they were winning championships, Klay he wasn't a top 50 guard in the league or something. So it's like, you guys, I don't think you're doing it right.
Top 50 guard. He was a top 20 player in the league. Screw position. Take that out of the equation.
I mean, you're onto something here with some of these names here.
Yeah, like I said, Parsons. I think John Wall's a really good one after he signed that big deal. The knees just kind of really derailed his career. He couldn't do anything after he had signed with that money. So, no, that would make sense. Gordon Hayward's another one that, man, he's been paid a lot of money, and the rare times he's on the court, he's good. It's just he's never on the court. Klay Thompson, though, that's insane. The Juwan Howard one is really interesting because, he signed, I forgot why, but do you remember this? And I want to say it was like 96 or 97. He signs this massive deal with Miami, and for whatever reason, he can't go there. And Washington ends up giving him a ton of money, and he was never the same guy after he signed that contract.
Yeah, he always, to me, it seemed like one of those things where teams sign him and then go, oh, we thought it was Chris Webber. That's right. It's a different guy. And
the Michigan thing. Threw us for a loop.
Yes. How about this guy? For a career here, $44 million made in 4 seasons. He's played 114 games, Zion Williamson.
Wow.
114 games played.
And what was the extension on him again? He signed the max. So, and that's the thing about the NBA. We've been talking about the NFL and Nick Bosa, and man, get as much guaranteed money as you possibly can, because you never know when your career's over. Zion's guaranteed all of that money.
Yeah,
Zion doesn't have to play another game.
This year he gets 34 mil. Next year, 36. 2025, 26, he gets 39.4. Then it goes up to 42.1. And then in 2027, 28, $44.8 million for Zion Williamson.
That's insane. I'll ask you this. Do you think this is his last contract?
I sure hope not.
I hope not either, but man, it's trending that way, right?
Yeah. You also have to question, given that, what was it, 2 years ago when it looked like he could play and he didn't?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if he's physically, just, his shoes can't support him. He's that powerful. But if he doesn't want to play,
that's a different scenario, right? That's always been my concern with him is it seems like motivation has always been the issue. One more really, I think, bad contract. Let me go over these numbers. This guy made last year 43.2. This year at age 30 will make 46.7.
Age 30.
31 year, the third year of the deal, 50.2. The fourth year of the deal, 53.6. And then a player option at age 33, which I totally see him taking, 57.1. Bradley Beal.
Ooh, good one. Yeah.
Those are insane numbers for a guy who's injury prone.
I don't know why everyone's going so goofy over the Suns. Oh, they got Bradley Beal. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
You know what's crazier about that? I know we got to go to break, but real quick. It wasn't just, they got Bradley Beal. Oh, my God, look at
APD's going to come after him if you don't.
Okay, well, I'll let him know to cool his jets because I got to end with him. It was all the signings that after that were like, oh, my God, that's an amazing. Watanabe? Oh, my God, how did Phoenix get him? I'm like, what?
I agree with you.
Did I miss something?
We got the story time crossover coming up next. I have a feeling we're going to hear from Chris Watkins.
What?
Coming up, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The NFL is here, and it's all about the sweet offers from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SNAP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code SNAP only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store. Come in now for a free arch support fitting and test walk.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
At your desk, on your phone,
in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Jay Marsh has done a nice job filling in for Watkins today, but look, here he is, Chris Watkins.
In the flesh. Yeah.
Woo! Thanks for finally showing up. Jeez,
I know,
12
my
minutes
bad.
before the show's over?
Traffic's crazy.
Come
man.
on,
It's
my
wild
guy.
out there. Sorry. My bad. My bad.
At least
That's
send us an email.
You guys figured it out eventually, when I wasn't here. You guys just kind of patchworked it.
Fine,
and,
I guess I'll
yeah.
come in and perform.
Yeah, You're not doing anything else, right?
No,
Yeah, you're not
really.
busy or anything.
I'm
It's
not
fine.
doing this for you again.
Okay. All right. I guess that's fair. You promise?
Promise.
Oh,
Okay.
he's such
well,
a
I guess-
baby. He lost back to fantasy. He goes, I'm never playing that game again.
Took my ball. and
Wow.
went home.
Jeez, that's
Yeah.
exactly what that is. That's real take your ball, go home energy right there. This game sucks. This is a stupid game anyway.
We go
Chris,
play
don't be that.
Nintendo.
We've been trying to make some quarterback comparisons here.
Okay.
And we're trying to figure out Brock Purdy. And it's so hard
Sure.
because here's one from and he put his name on it. Dominic from San Francisco. Thank you, Dominic. Don't read too much into this. Brock and Johnny Manziel without the attitude and the bad decision making.
Because they're both short?
I suppose so.
Okay. I think that's kind of hand in hand. Like, I don't know. That's
It's hard to separate.
I
Johnny Manziel
have
from
something in
those
my
things.
mind that is a comparison to that, but I'm not. I mean,
Good idea.
yeah, I was just,
I'm gonna go and say I don't like that one.
I don't love it. I mean, yeah, Johnny had tons of problems, and I don't think Brock is nearly as mobile as what Manziel was when he was, I guess, at his
You
peak.
see him
if you
run
will.
for that touchdown in the preseason.
No, I mean, I'm not saying he's not mobile, but like Johnny Manziel was a lot more like Russell Wilson, and I don't look at Brock Purdy and ever think, wow, he kind of plays like Russell Wilson.
I want to go back and watch more of his. Well, I don't know if I've seen any of his
Iowa
college.
State tape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm,
I haven't
yeah.
seen any of it.
A lot of it on YouTube, I'm told.
Mhm.
What I
Everything's on
understand,
YouTube.
yeah, he was really good as a junior. In his senior year, he kind of
Yeah.
struggled a little bit. Yeah. So who
Is
knows?
that
Maybe
why
year
he
two.
fell to 7th?
Yeah, probably exactly that, and being 6 foot.
He's
A block.
6'1".
Sorry, I know. Yeah, in cleats.
Yeah.
yeah. Very
Somebody
important. in cleats.
compared him to Tony Romo earlier, and we were saying Tony Romo.
That
had a
feels
much
too
stronger
good.
arm,
Yeah.
I just hope that playoff comparison again doesn't hold up.
I mean, it's just so tough because he hasn't played enough games to
Right.
really like completely
That's
wrap
kinda what we
around.
said.
Yeah, like he's played what 7.4
7 and a
games or whatever.
half.
Yeah.
We'll go 7.5.
Yeah. So it's really tough to put him on anybody. Like
Hey.
maybe like how about Matt Flynn that 1 week
Oh,
when
that's
he
a
went
good
off?
one.
You know,
Whoa.
It's like
Nick Foles,
Yeah, like,
hey, just happens to fit in just perfect system.
great
for
in
him.
a small sample size
Yeah.
so far. It's just I don't know. I don't think you can really find a comparison for it.
Would
Maybe like an NBA comp or something.
Who'd you compare Kirk Cousins to?
It's tough to do like a past comparison, but like I mean I don't know. I always just say he's kind of in that Derek Carr, Jimmy G tier, but I think he's more more at like the top of that tier. Like
Jeff George, I'll give you one. Jeff.
Sure, yeah.
Kirk can
maybe
move a little bit better. than
Maybe even like
did.
Jeff Garcia. Like I don't know. Like he's not bad. Like he's definitely not as bad as what. The problem is Perk has a PR problem, and I think that's been fixed through the quarterback series. But he can really throw the football.
No,
Like,
he has a
it's-
gun on him.
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan like drools over.
yeah.
Kirk
The
Cousins.
biggest problem with Kirk has been he's just a weird guy. I mean, he's just so strange that nobody could really connect with him. And as a quarterback, like being the leader of the team is kind of important. And
that
so
video of him on the plane, last year.
Kirk O'Chains?
Yeah, Kirk O'Chains was just. I don't know if there was anything more cringe that happened.
I'm telling you though, like that was a moment. Like the team has really embraced him. Like this is the first time that I've seen Kirk Cousins really be actually enjoyed by his teammate. Like Stephon Diggs actively left the Vikings because he hated Kirk Cousins. And like this is the first time Kirk has ever really been embraced. Even in Washington, like he was always kind of the guy who took RG3's job, and he was good, not great, and then kind of found some issue with the organization because they kept franchise tagging him. So he's really good. He is a really good quarterback. He's a lot like Matt Ryan. How about that? That's another Kyle Shanahan guy, of course,
former MVP.
Exactly. He's capable of that for sure.
It's an interesting story. I just want to make sure. Do we have time, Christopher Law? Do we have time for a story time? Or we
can also keep talking about Kirk Cousins if that's better. I'm kidding.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear.
Maybe not.
Story time.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
I actually have a FIBA World Cup story time today.
What?
Oh.
Sports related?
Would you? Would you guys be interested in that?
I kind of feel like I know who
I'm pretty sure
involves.
I'm pretty sure you know what it is, but I'm thinking like a lot of our audience doesn't know the story.
Let's inform.
I don't know this story.
Let's inform.
Let's go to Manila, Philippines. This is courtesy of the AP. We've all been paying attention to the FIBA World Cup.
Yes.
I don't know if many people have heard about this. On August 30th, Serbia was playing South Sudan, where they won 115-83 with 2 minutes left in the game. South Sudan's Nuni Omat tried to score a layup and ended up elbowing Borisa Samanic.
Good.
After he hit Samanic, he fell to his knees in pain. Samanic was taken to the hospital, where it was decided to take him into surgery.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, there were complications after his first surgery. The team was very worried about him. They were even trying to find blood for him because he was losing a lot of blood because he injured his kidney with the elbow.
Ooh.
Shortly after the first surgery, doctors decided to take him in for a second to remove his kidney altogether. The team is not certain when Samanic will be released from the hospital. Nuni Omat apologized to Samanic, saying he was deeply saddened by the news of his injuries. And as a sportsman, I firsthand understand the severity of the situation, and I'm deeply sorry that this happened. No player should have to go through that. I pray for Samanic's recovery and speedy return to the court.
Wow.
Is that end of story?
Yeah.
End of story.
Dude got elbowed in the kidney? How many of these?
I
body
said
parts
good,
do you
like
really
LOL
want?
caught an elbow. Now I feel really bad.
That's got to be a vicious blow.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I've got a quick one if we want to end with not such a low.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in favor of that.
Phoenix, Arizona. This is courtesy of ABC News. I think we all know it is important that if you've had too much to drink, you should get a designated driver, correct?
Always.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And that designated driver should be able to see over the dashboard, correct?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, every driver,
good
not
rule
just
of- good rule
designated
of
ones,
thumb.
but every driver should.
Well, the man was arrested on Sunday after allowing his 10-year-old son to drive a pickup truck
That's
on a
very
Phoenix
illegal.
area freeway. That's what authorities say. The Arizona Department of Public Safety said a motorist called 911 around 3:30 and said, "It appears a child is driving the truck on the freeway." A trooper spotted the vehicle and tried to stop it after seeing the driver changing lanes unsafely. The truck failed to stop, and the trooper pursued it before the child driver pulled over in an emergency lane. The man was charged into the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office on suspicion of endangerment, unlawfully permitting a minor to drive, and for having an open container in his vehicle. The 10-year-old is not facing any charges.
Here he comes.
It's a
Here
tough
comes
choice,
Speed
man.
Racer.
Yeah, it's like either he drives home drunk or he does have a perfectly well-breathing 10-year-old right there.
Also, like, maybe not keep drinking while the 10-year-old's driving. Try
probably a
to
good
sober up as much as you can to help him out there. That's just
That's
my
probably
opinion
really
on it.
Yeah. And in those trucks,
That's tough.
sometimes the seats are higher. I'll bet you the kid could see. I don't see a problem.
He was probably using the open container to hit the gas and the brake.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good
As long as
point.
the kid is sober, I
You
think
can't do
that's what
anything in
matters.
this country anymore.
I know.
It's so sad.
Laws, am I right?
Yeah.
Didn't you used to be able to like sit in the back of like a truck bed?
Dude,
no problem. Or
I
aren't
am
there
in that
certain
age group.
states?
Oh, I'm
where,
in
like,
that age group that you sit
that
in the
used to
truck
be
bed.
legal.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That seems. I mean, it seems like a blast.
It
also
was.
seems like a liability.
Really bad idea.
When I was a kid, horse and buggy, you could do that. You could ride in the back of a wagon.
Didn't you get
No
pulled over,
seatbelts
though,
back then either.
Didn't you get pulled over for riding on top though? Like that was just not okay.
Yes.
As long as
One
the horse
time.
is okay with it.
What do you guys
No
have
clue.
coming up today,
Not
Mr.
a single
Watkins?
clue. I assume we're going to talk a lot about Nick Bosa.
that
you know,
happened.
that happened today, and you know, with the we're going to be leading right into Chiefs Lions right here on Sactown Sports 1140. You can hear that, so we're definitely going to be talking a lot about that game. We're also having Michael Lombardi on at 3:30.
Wow.
Yes,
Awesome.
Yes, very excited. For
Yeah.
that.
Good luck in softball tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'm hopefully gonna be able to watch the entire game before I have to head out.
And also, just a courtesy to all slow pitch softball players. I'm guessing it's slow pitch.
Yeah.
Not cool to post your highlights on IG.
Very much agreed.
That not
Very much agreed.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right. Who is in with Chris Watkins? How about no? Next, No and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The first ever NBA in-season tournament schedule is out, and our Kings have some great matchups, including national TV games against the Spurs and Warriors.
And Sacramento has won. They have risen to the occasion. And let me tell you, if you can't sense it, this place is absolutely nuts.
Listen to every game on the home of the Kings.